Hello, hello. Welcome to the No Life Digital Tech and Gaming Culture Camera Podcast. We got lots and lots to talk about. No, not too much. We got the Xbox recap. We're going to talk about this game Carrion that I've been playing. And we're going to go over the latest in the camera wars. Canon, the R5 versus the Sony A7s3. If you're interested in all this tech and gaming stuff, tune in every Tuesday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern here on the No Life Digital channel. Jumping into it. What is up, co-host? What's going on? Good weekends?
Yeah. It's been a really busy day today, honestly.
Busy day in cameras.
Yeah.
It's been so fun. I can't get enough.
You guys talk about cameras. I have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, I just want to get through the gaming stuff to talk about cameras this episode, honestly. I think alone, my schedule today was, hey, wake up early, work till noon, and since then I've done absolutely nothing other than try to watch footage.
I know it's been fun. There was leaks last night about the A7s3, and it was like 3 a.m, and I was like, do I watch this 30-minute B&H video or do I go to bed? So then I woke up, and then I had to do the wake up show, and that went for like 3 hours today. And then all I was thinking about in the back of my head is like, man, I can't wait to see Gerald Undun's video.
We got it.
Yes, we did.
But all right, let's get back to real. Let's go do a run through Xbox before we get to our glorious Sony overlords.
Yes. Well, first, I'm trying to figure out. I have gameplay footage of this game Carrion that I want to talk about. It's by Devolver Digital. It came out recently. I'm trying to figure out how to play it, and I'm not sure exactly how this works. It doesn't seem as if. What the heck? Why isn't it popping up here? Let me see. Chrome NDI properties. NDI streaming. Correct. So this NDI stuff is quite confusing. Have you guys heard of Carrion at all?
I remember seeing the trailer for it, and I know that it's a reverse horror game where you play as the monster.
Yeah,
Which
you
is a
play
cool
as this this amalgamous sort of like amoeba thing that just eats people, and the idea is that it's like a Metroidvania, and you're just going through, you're trying to figure out exactly what happened at this facility that turned you into this, and you're also trying to kind of grow your amoeba, their skills and stuff. It's pretty fun. I have footage, and I'm trying to figure out exactly how to get it up on the screen. I'm not sure why this isn't working. So just bear with me for a second. Actually, maybe we'll go into news while I try to figure this out. It doesn't look like it's working. I don't understand here.
I was gonna say the only thing I've been playing recently is the same. Lots of Melee, Apex, and Valkyria Chronicles 4, which is that strategy anime RPG, which is fun.
Oh wait, I think I figured it out. Yeah, I saw you streaming on your channel.
Yeah, I've kind of breezed through this game. It's wild because like I did chapters 12, 13, 14, and the first map of 15 on Sunday.
Yeah.
The first 3 chapters took me a grand total of 3 hours altogether. The first map of chapter 15 took me 3 hours.
Okay. There you go.
I tried speedrunning it. The mission goal is like destroy this tank. And I would have had it my first attempt if I had had just one more turn, but it didn't work, so I had to do it the actual route, which was to spend 3 hours on it.
All right.
Yeah. Strategy games are interesting.
All right, I got the footage here. And we're about to get into it. All right. Sorry about the delay here. Here we go. Play. That seems to be working now. Yeah, there we go. All right, yeah. So as you can see on the screen, you play as like this. I don't know what you would call it. It's more. It's like a nest of like tendrils and tentacles and arms. And every time you eat someone, you kind of grow bigger and you gain more. You're just quicker. You grow bigger. You have more health. The whole idea is to kind of just go through these levels, and it's the best part about these kind of games, in my opinion, about Devolver Digital, is just how dark they get. Like, they're so fucking dark. Like, if you've played Hotline Miami, if you've played, what was the samurai one called?
Katana Zero.
Yeah, Katana Zero. If you've what other Devolver games? I mean, there's such a fucking good developer. They have a plethora of games. My Friend Pedro, Hotline Miami. I didn't know Grease was also a Devolver game. Tons going on. Carrion. Was Katana Zero Devolver Digital, or was that a different game? I thought
it was
Devolver.
developed by ASCII Soft and published by the Katana developer.
Yeah. Okay. So it is a Devolver game. It is a Devolver game.
It's a Devolver published game. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they all kind of have like that sort of like dark edge to them. Oh yeah, The Messenger is also another one. This one, you're basically playing as like the bad guy, and you're killing, like you're going through like this science facility. I haven't beaten it yet, and I'll get into that. And while you're kind of doing this Metroidvania stuff, and you're learning the puzzles, you're learning kind of the mechanics. It's super fun the way, and it's super fluid too, the way you kind of run through these levels. It feels really cool to kind of like slither around as this fucking nasty ass thing, and eat people. But as you're playing through, you kind of unlock more about the story, and there's like a dual story to it. So half of the story you're playing as this, for the most part of the story, you're playing as the monster, and the other half you're playing as the scientist, and you're trying to basically shut down the facility while you're also unlocking pretty much what happened here and how this was created. And I don't really know the full story because I haven't beaten it, and I'll get into that. But overall, it's just like a really fun, kind of innovative Metroidvania that plays more in the vein of like a platformer than it does any of the other Devolver games, which are more combat focused. This is definitely more a puzzle focused game, platformer style game. Super duper fluid, super fun, super gross. Again, I love the dark sort of art of Devolver games for the most part. I love how the story is not really given to you. You kind of just have to play through to know what's going on. You just start, and then all of a sudden you're in this facility and you're this monster. You have no idea what's going on. There's no context to anything. It's all becomes unlocked as you play through. Very, very classic Metroidvania stuff. The biggest problem with this game, though, that I don't like about it, there's no map and there's no clear guide. There's no direction. So you have no real idea of what you're supposed to do. And because of the map and because of how intricate things get, and because it is a Metroidvania where you need certain skills to unlock certain areas, you get to an area, you kind of get lost for a little bit, you kind of get off the beaten path. You can get pretty lost and you just have no idea where to go. And I've gotten stuck a couple times where I'm just like, what am I supposed to do? Where am I supposed to go? Like, what is going on? I'm literally just moseying around as this blob, and I've already killed everyone. So you're basically trying to like find areas where there are enemies, but you can get very lost very quickly. And it's become more frustrating because unlike a lot of Metroidvanias that do like that backtracking, there's once you clear an area, it's clear. There's nothing to go back to. It's not like there's extra enemies to fight. There's no combat that really relies on the system. So it's all puzzle based, really. And it's just kind of, once you get lost, you're kind of just like, I'm kind of done with this. This is really boring. I don't know where I'm going. There's no clear objective. The best way to play this game is if you just stick to what the game wants you to do. Just slither around and kind of play through the systems the way that they want. Don't go off the beaten path at all. And just kind of enjoy for what it is, because this is a small indie game. Again, this was a game that was a Games Pass game, I believe. And this isn't a game that I would purchase otherwise, if you know what I mean. This is just that type of game where That's why I love Games Pass, because these are the games that I really like to play, and the fact that they kind of just pop up in your feed and you can just download them, to me, it just keeps going into how much value I get out of the Games Pass service. So many of these games that I've been addicted to recently have been from Games Pass, and I'm just super excited about the future of Xbox and Games Pass, which is going to play a big deal into what we talk about in the Xbox show and why I'm so excited for it. So overall, if you're looking for a fun little platformer with heavy puzzle mechanics that kind of does this interesting, like you're the monster type thing, check out Carrion if you have Games Pass. I don't know if I'd spend much money on it. Maybe $5. It's really, I think they say if you play through the game straight, you probably beat it in like 3 hours. If you kind of take your time with it, maybe it's a 5-hour game. So it's not really worth much, but if you're looking for a fun puzzle game that's by Devolver, if you like Devolver games, Carrion has been pretty interesting. All right, so let's get into the news. Let's get into the news on that note. First things first, let's go through the Xbox recap.
Yes, they had a pre-show and then they had their main show.
Oh, they had a pre-show?
Yeah, it was an hour long. They showed a few things off, and then a lot of it was just like, oh, here's 4 influencers and Jeff Keighley, which was boring as fuck.
Why? Just why? Why is this the summer of Keighley?
Keighley's the man, dude.
He's taking over.
I'm gonna make like a Jeff Keighley like pop up.
So we'll go through the announcements they announced. Dragon Quest XI-S is coming to Xbox and Games Pass, I believe, which is pretty cool. I think everything they said shown here is coming to Games Pass.
Yeah, that was the big thing for me that made this a much bigger announcement than maybe it would have been.
Exo Mecha, which is some free-to-play shooter, looks like a Titanfall ripoff. Echo Generation, no idea what that even is.
Turn-based adventure game.
Hello Neighbor 2, which I heard a lot of people were like, oh, but they never finished the first Hello Neighbor. So I don't know. And then Balan Wonderland, which is kind of the game that a lot of people were looking at. It's a platformer and kind of in the vein of like, it's very Knights. If you remember Knights on like Dreamcast from Sega.
Here we go. I got a Jeff Keighley up, by the way. There we go.
Thank you. Yeah, just put screw our own branding. Just put Jeff Keighley.
I had to put a Jeff Keighley up there while we talk about the big Keighley summer.
Yeah, so Balan Wonderland, just like a platformer game that had, I think, spouted 80 different power-ups or something. It's from the co-creators of Sonic and Nights into Dreams, I think it was. It looked interesting. I might check that out if it's on PC. And then they opened the show with Halo.
Yeah.
And it doesn't look good.
Okay, can I also just point out that so they lost Bungie in the first place, so they lost Halo. And then they brought in 343 to make Halo.
Well,
so
okay,
Bungie went and made Destiny instead, which kind of sucks. So now 343 is like, we should make Destiny and have it kind of suck.
4 members of Bungie, like Bungie left, but some core members stayed behind to form 343. It's not like 343 wasn't people that worked on Halo. It was some people that did.
I still, at this point, if this is the plan, is, hey, we're going to remake Halo to be Destiny, why did they split in the first place? If they're just making 2 different variations of the same game.
Yeah, I mean, it's cool that it's open world, and I mean, that's something I think is interesting, but I need to see how it's going to... Is this a campaign, or is this going to be a games as a service style like Destiny, where, part of the game campaign is there, but you'll have to wait till we put in 3 more campaigns later.
True.
Not to mention multiplayer.
I'm not that negative on it, because I'm not that big of a
I'm not negative on it. It's just like it's just very interesting to me that
I know what you mean.
It's like, oh, well, they did that, so we're gonna do that now.
Well, like, split off and then make essentially the same kind of game. It doesn't make, like, why would you split off?
I will say the fact that they're not like, it's not like Halo 5, which I didn't play Halo 5, but I know the complaints from that was like Master Chief was in it for like half the game, and then the other half you play as some other character that nobody cared about.
Yeah.
This game is very much showing, okay, you're Master Chief the entire time. We're not going to screw around with that. We're going, and it's definitely drawing inspiration from the first Halo game. Going back to that, this is a game that's on Halo.
It looks amazing too.
We're not putting it on Earth. We're not putting it in other environments.
I think it looks really good.
Some of it I think looks really good, and then some of it is I don't like, if I'm being honest, just because I think it's two mixed graphical styles for me, where like some of the backgrounds look like they're trying to go for photorealism and it looks really good, but then the rest is really upfront cartoony, and I don't know if the style matches for me personally.
I mean,
that's kind of always been Halo to me, though.
Yeah, cartoony definitely feels. I don't know if it's cartoony, but it definitely feels like they're going back to that original
I've
style.
been sitting here playing WoW for 15 years of my fucking life. I'm okay with cartoony. It's the mixing, matching of it, where it's like the background distances look like a completely different art style in some cases to me than your action.
Yeah, I would just argue that
feel like they exist in that world.
To me, I would argue that it just looks more Halo, more like I don't think it's. I think it looks pretty similar to the other Halos. You know, I don't think it looks any different than any Halos before that.
It doesn't look that different. But like as the quality is improving, it's becoming more apparent to me that it's like. Looking at this shot of a ship and you're shooting people on grass, and it looks like two different assets even.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, the player assets too look especially jarring because they get wrapped in like good. That gold, like that energy shield thing, and it kind of like highlights them in a weird way.
Yeah, like when you look at it, it's the differences of like you're looking at Master Chief and here's RTX on, and then you look at The Rock and it's like, oh, this is from Halo 2.
Yeah, I see what you mean. I think it looks pretty good. And it looks like definitely more definitive Halo. And I'm actually kind of excited because I'm not the biggest old school Halo guy. I would like more of a Destiny style to Halo. I would like more of a infusion of how Destiny's open world is. You know, I don't know if I'd exactly go so far saying like I would like a Destiny clone with a Halo skin, but I don't mind Halo kind of moving away from just like that narrative first person shooter thing. As long as they kind of keep like the same sort of multiplayer in there, like that core multiplayer, I would be interested in seeing how they kind of tackle an open world Destiny-esque Halo world. I think that could be interesting. I'm just not the biggest fan of Halo story.
I mean, if it goes more for like a Breath of the like a Zelda approach, like it could be really dope. Like there is potential here, and it could be really cool.
Yeah, or like a Far Cry style, I think could be cool. Or like a Horizon could be cool.
Yeah, I'd be fine with those kinds of open world. I will say the gameplay though,
I'd want that. Yeah, like dude, screw it. Just make it Assassin's Creed Halo and not Destiny Halo.
Yeah,
I would prefer that.
Don't make it as a games as a service. Like, give me a campaign that is a complete campaign from beginning to end. That I don't feel like I need additional, enhanced whatever it is, expansion passes to get more campaign.
True.
You know, I don't think they would do that.
I just want it to be Halo.
I don't think they would do that just because it is their bread and butter. Like, hey, this is like all they have is Halo. You know what I mean? I don't know if they're gonna fuck it up. They're gonna change some things for sure, but
like the grapple mechanic, the grapple, whatever that hook shot is, looks cool. Like that looks fun. I'm always for more mobility in these games.
Yeah, that looks pretty cool.
Some of the gunplay they showed, like a lot of the different variety of guns you have, looks really fun. It's Halo. I'm excited to see what. I'm definitely excited to see what multiplayer looks like when they unveil that.
Yeah, also, I'm excited. I'm excited for it.
Yeah.
And it's Games Pass, dude. That pays for itself. That pays for Games Pass itself.
And the story's weird because I didn't even know what the Banished were in the story. Like, I had to look it up, and it's like, oh no, this is the bad guys that were first seen in Halo Wars 2.
Oh, I thought that was
anybody
Halo
play
3
Halo
thing.
Wars 2?
No, I only played the main Halos.
Exactly.
And I beat Halo 3 way later in the life cycle. I don't remember when I beat it.
It's cool for your hardcore Halo fans to be like, oh, hey, here's an enemy force from a game that we know nobody except for diehard Halo fans played.
Well, where they would have gone after Halo 3? I'm trying to think.
There was Halo 4, which brought out the Diadec, which was the like the one of the forerunners who created the installations. And then the fifth game was Master Chief was on the run for some reason, and then Cortana goes rampant and becomes a bad guy. And then it ends with Master Chief essentially being flung out into space by Cortana. And that's where this game, that the whole thing where the dude in the pilot wipes the frost off his window and finds Master Chief. Yeah, it's because Master Chief has been floating in space. And
Yeah,
now you have
that
the
left kind of
Vanish.
sums it up. And now we have
Yeah,
now we
5
get the
was not
Halo
a good
2
game.
Wars 2 enemy, dude.
I wasn't even a fan of 4, honestly. Like the last good Halo game was Reach.
Like,
Yeah, I couldn't even tell you which one. I couldn't even tell you. Wow, it looks like there's 11,000 people that dislike this video. They're not happy with it. It is more upvoted, so some people. I'm excited
it's
for it just
Halo.
because.
It's gonna always be popular.
And this is the thing that this is the boat that I'm in. I have Games Pass. I have no inclination of removing it, so I'm just gonna get it anyway. You know what I mean? It's just gonna pop up, and I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna play it, and if I like it, I like it. I think
And they
Games Pass
mentioned-
is so fucking dope.
And they
This
did
is
mention
not. This is. I think this is a big thing, though. Is I agree with your argument of Games Pass, and I'm sorry I didn't mean to cut you off. I just
Figured.
realized this. This is not a console seller from the looks of it to me.
Oh no,
Is
it'll
it a
be good
Games
software
Pass
seller.
seller? Is it a Games Pass seller?
might be a Games
That's
Pass
what I
seller.
want to know.
Maybe that I could think you could have that argument, but this goes back to the same thing for the PlayStation, where it's like Miles Morales looks really cool. I'm not buying a PS5 for Miles Morales. I'm not buying an Xbox for Halo. Not
Especially
this,
since it's
not
gonna come to
Destiny
PC
Halo.
It's
Well,
gonna come to
not-
PC anyway.
Not from what I've seen. Yeah, it's coming to. Yeah, I mean that's the.
And that's the thing is they said it's gonna run at a 60 frames locked, like guaranteed 60 frames on the Series X. That's cool. As long as I can get to run 60 frames on my PC, I don't really care.
You'll have no problem running at 60 frames with your setup. You'll have no problem.
Yeah, right. And if I get it to run higher, it'd be great, but I doubt it.
No, that game should run pretty well. Microsoft's games usually run really nicely.
Yeah, I got to see the optimization on it.
I'm excited for it just because it's just gonna pop up and I'm gonna play it. I'm curious to know if it sells a Games Pass. I agree. It's not a console seller. At least from what we've seen, it could be. Who knows? It could be a console seller. Maybe it has like the best multiplayer in a shooter on a console in a long time.
And that's what I'm saying. It's going to come down to the multiplayer. Like, let's be honest. Like, the campaigns have always been enjoyable.
Right.
They've been enjoyable. But Microsoft and Halo multiplayer has been their bread. Like, that is why you buy the game.
Yeah, and if everyone's playing Halo multiplayer on Xbox, then it'll sell consoles.
And I wonder if it'll have cross-play between Xbox and PC.
I hope not. That would kill it. That would entirely kill it.
It might.
I
don't know. I don't.
Mouse and keyboard
I have
versus
to look and
controller
see
would
if-
kill it.
I have to look and see if Master Chief Collection is cross-play or not. I do know that the
I think they said it is crossplay. Right?
controller has the aim assist and keyboard does not.
No,
Yeah.
even then, dude, it's not a contest to me.
Dude, you'd be surprised because Call of Duty has that, and a lot of console players, like a lot of pros, use controller because of that aim assist. It's pretty shocking. I don't know. At like the most top tier of levels, I would need to double. I'm just not that into it, but I know like a lot of like top players play with controller against mouse and keyboard. I guess the aim assist really, if you could do it right.
It depends on the
really
game,
works.
I think. Like, I tried Apex Legend with a controller just to see how it played, and that game plays terrible on controller.
Yeah. Does it have
Like, you can
Aim
play Call of
assist?
Duty fine on controller. I played it fine on controller. I moved to keyboard and mouse, but it played fine on controller.
Yeah.
You did bring up my other thought, though, and why I still sit in the camp of this isn't a console seller to me. Like, all right, so you're at let's say the multiplayer for this is actually big, and it does seem pretty cool, and it does. It could sell pretty decently. Oh, but why would? Okay, so if I am little Timmy, why the fuck do I care about Halo and then spending $600 to play Halo when I can still play Fortnite?
That's a good question. That's a good
Wait
question.
until they unveil the multiplayer, and they're like, "Hey, this is why we took so long to unveil multiplayer." There's a BR mode.
It just depends on how many people play it. Yeah, it really depends. If Fortnite becomes out and Halo in, everyone will buy a console for it. Now, I'm more curious as to what like the PC split will be. Because from what we've seen, because we know that they're not doing. What did they say? There's no Xbox exclusives. Wasn't that the rumor? Isn't that what?
Everything that they're going to release for like the next couple years will be Xbox One and Xbox One Series X, but it'll be optimized for Series X. So you can play it in your Xbox One, it just won't be optimized.
And what about PC? Do we know?
Most everything's coming to PC as far as I know.
Yeah, and that's kind of where I'm like, do they even really want to sell consoles? Because we know
they do.
We know that they're selling them at cost. And we know that Games Pass is really what they're pushing. Everything on Games Pass. They have this service. So I don't even think they want to sell consoles.
If their software, let's say their software sells very well on PC, but they're not moving any hardware units or struggling to meet what they want. Do you think that there's a possibility in the future that Microsoft just goes, you know what? We're going to be we'll do software, but we'll do software for PC.
Yeah, 100%.
And get out of the console market.
I don't know. Not. I think it would take a lot longer.
Oh yeah, it would take a while.
It's gonna take a couple of generations. I can see them doing that because I do agree that I think, especially since, God, what's his name? NS. Why can I not remember his name? Okay, the guy who runs Microsoft right now. He's been all in on cloud for like 6 years now. So that is entirely his goal. Is they're just gonna start doing bare minimum for consoles, try to sell you Game Pass. That's
Satya Nadella. That's his name.
Satya Nadella. That's it. SN, not NS.
SN.
But like, there's still really hardcore Xbox base.
Yeah.
That still believe it's Xbox versus PlayStation 2 and that it's that till they die, basically.
Yeah.
So you have to offer at least a Xbox for them for at least another 10 years.
Yeah, and I think it'll have to be some real drastic things that would need to happen for them to ever stop Xbox.
Dude, the losses.
Its original Halo and the 360 just fucked us all, basically.
Yeah.
And ever since then, my uncle, like 3 months ago, already had an Xbox pre-ordered.
There you go. I hope they don't. I like Xbox. I like Xbox hardware, and someone needs to put competition on Sony. It's not Nintendo in that same way that Xbox does. So I think they play a necessary role, but it's very much showing that they are a lot more focused on software and their services than anything. And that the same went with Apple. Apple really went heavily into their services, making, sending to investors like, look, we have a lot of services that we're going to pull through. We're going to spend a lot of money on Apple TV. We're going to take a couple hits on the hardware. Even though Apple does really well on the hardware, they're still, trading margins on hardware. And it's just,
I don't think they took any hits on any hardware, by the way.
No, they did.
It's Apple mantra.
They did. They took some hits on hardware and they went heavily on their services, on all of their products. I forget what. Remember we were talking about it. Was it last year when they
What
I'm gonna need to
what
bring up
single
the,
Apple hardware product has not had a huge markup on it?
Well, I'm not talking markup. I'm talking margin.
To make it.
I'm talking margin. They're not pushing their margins as much as they used to because they're really kind of pushing their services. I mean, I guess the best example would just be the iPhone 11, like the smaller iPhones, the SEs. They're really kind of pushing them.
I could take as a better.
The Mac Minis
example.
are examples of that. The Mac Pros.
Man, the Mac Mini is not an example of that. The Mac Mini, they rose the price and made it worse.
Yeah, but how many are they selling? You know what I mean? They're not selling any of them, so they're cutting on the margins. They really want to sell their services.
That's upping the margin, so you get the book. That's the opposite of cutting the margin.
No, what I mean is they're trying to pull down their margins so they can offer more services. So it sells better to more services. You know what I mean?
I understand your theory. I just think Apple's the absolute worst example of that because they don't do that for the most part. Microsoft, I see, is trying to do that more. You know what I mean? That's
I'll
just
find the
point I'm making.
article. I remember we talked about it like
it's
last year.
It's not an Amazon who's trying to sell you a tablet for $40 to get you sucked into Prime.
No. We're not talking like that. We're not talking like extreme budgetary options like what Google has been doing. Google is kind of a good example of that. But
Right,
it's clear they're going more in a services route. They really want to push these services.
No, they definitely want to push services
because that's what investors want to see. They don't really care too much about hardware sales because there's so much behind them. There's so much supply chain, especially now with COVID. Any sort of shocks to the supply chain fuck all of your investments up. So as long as you have like a good financial sort of input, then you can pretty much run gravy.
I don't disagree with you there. I'm just saying that was a poor example.
Yeah, I remember we spoke about there. I forget. I have to find it. But Apple is an example. Maybe not the best example, but they did.
And I will also say though, those services take time, which is why I think Microsoft tried to get into it years ago. You know what I mean? That's why we're sitting here hoping xCloud actually works.
Yeah.
And crap like that. So they realized that before anyone else, basically.
Yeah.
And now we're still waiting for Apple TV to make anything I want to watch.
Yeah. All right.
But Apple News Plus, buy it because that's good.
But yeah. So the other games they announced were State of Decay 3, which didn't they just release State of Decay 2 like 2 years ago?
Who knows, dude?
I don't even know anymore.
How is that a game that they are even pushing?
Forza, which is cool because we did see Gran Turismo. So
yeah, you gotta have Forza in the run.
You gotta have Forza, and we have Gran Turismo back, so that will be actually interesting to see where the racing sim people go.
Yeah.
And then we got
Forza
Rare,
will probably take that cake.
Rare came out with a new title, and people were seeing Rare and thinking, oh no, maybe they're gonna bring back Perfect Dark. Maybe Banjo-Kazooie, maybe Conquer. No, it's a brand new title called Everwild. It looks beautiful, but I have absolutely no idea what the gameplay is. They showed no gameplay. By the way, they showed like no gameplay for any of these things.
Yeah, I'm noticing that while going through a lot of these.
They were all cinematic trailers.
Yeah.
Nothing is ready.
Even Forza, like all of them are just like, here's pretty.
Yeah, outside of Halo, there was like nothing that was gameplay.
Mm-hmm.
Then they showed Tell Me Why, which looks like it's the Life is Strange people, which, whatever.
Can I? That's such a bad name. That is such a bad name.
Why?
Exactly. I don't name your
don't name another shitty game.
But that's exactly what the game looks like. It looks like a Backstreet Boys simulator.
Dude.
Then they did.
It's Life is Strange, and you're just gonna hear fucking 98 Degrees playing the entire time.
There was a cool announcement for Ori: The Will of the Wisps that the Xbox Series X will have a 120 FPS in full 4K HDR. That's actually pretty cool.
Which is dope.
That's cool. But is it a reason to buy an Xbox One Series X? Not really. But it's cool. Then there was DLC for the Outer Worlds.
I don't think there's any reason to buy an Xbox if you have a PC. You know what I mean?
There really isn't.
If you have a PC, there's really no reason.
I also don't
Which is awesome. I think that's
PlayStation
awesome.
5 yet either. So
yeah.
I will say this announcement was actually pretty hilarious because Obsidian did a couple announcements. There was an announcement for Grounded, which is their co-op survival game that's like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. But the trailer starts with, if you're waiting for the greatest game of all time, then continue to wait for Cyberpunk. And I thought that humor was actually pretty funny.
It's also kind of probably true.
It's also yeah. Obsidian was just like, yo, just wait for Cyberpunk. But play this in the meantime, but we know you're waiting for Cyberpunk. And then they showed Avowed, which is Obsidian decided, hey, we did the Outer Worlds, which was like Fallout. We're going to now do Elder Scrolls, but do it our own Elder Scrolls. So they're making their own Elder Scrolls, essentially, with Avowed.
Yeah.
Then there was...
Which could be really interesting, but that's another example of I really wish there was like gameplay behind any of this. and not a 50-second clip of arrows flying through the air.
Oh, I know. There was no gameplay.
That's what the trailer was.
They showed As Dusk Falls, which looks like I don't remember the guy who creates them, but it's David Cage who does like Detroit Become Human and those games. It looks like that. It's an interactive drama.
Yeah, snore simulator, simulator.
Ninja Theory showed literally nothing of Hellblade 2.
I was gonna say, yeah, you gotta get to the point of Hellblade 2. That's kind of cool.
They announced that they're doing the game in Unreal 5, which is awesome. That's going to be cool.
So
it's
we'll
going to
see
look
it
nice.
in 3 years. Okay, cool.
But yeah, we saw absolutely nothing about it. They just said that they're going to be setting it in Iceland.
What's crazy is if they're announcing Unreal 5, which was just unveiled not recently ago, or not,
which
not
isn't
too long
out till
ago.
the end of next year.
Yeah, and it's not available. How this game has been in production for a while. How would they have it to produce the game unless they're porting what they have into Unreal?
I mean, there will be able to port from 4
they're
to
gonna
5, but
you can get the beta. I think you can already get the beta, honestly. So they probably already have a version of it, especially if they're in good with Epic. Like, there's ways you can have it already and still be working with it.
Yeah.
But also, I think there's still going to be a good enough port tools from 4 to 5, so they could mostly be making a good amount of it in 4, hopefully, and then just porting it over and then waiting for all the cool features of 5 before they add the 90 million rocks in Iceland that they're going to have to add. Because you can use that, you can do that with Unreal 5, so that's pretty cool.
yeah, rocks, man. It's all about rocks.
But yeah, based off of this trailer, what they've been doing with all of that money from Hellblade 1 is just partying on fucking Iceland, my dude.
Yeah, it's all that money they got from Hellblade 1 and all that money they got when Microsoft bought them.
Yeah, and hey, dude, here's them scouting Iceland. Here's a bunch of really beautiful shots of how beautiful of a country Iceland is, and that's all they've been doing, dude.
Yeah, and then they followed that with something I'm actually excited for, which is we did see a little gameplay of Psychonauts 2. The game looks super trippy. We already know from last week that when Microsoft acquired Double Fine, that the team for Psychonauts 2 is actually able to put in cut material back into the game. And Jack Black is doing an original song for it, which is pretty cool.
Okay.
And then,
I mean, it looks like Psychonauts. It looks good. It will probably be a good, fun game.
What is it? Is it like a platformer?
It's a platformer.
I never
Yeah,
played
it's like a puzzle platformer,
It's
kind
a
of,
puzzle
and it's trippy
platformer
as shit.
with really weird humor.
Yeah.
So is that why there's like
very
hype behind
trippy.
it? There's almost like a cult following behind it.
It was very much a cult classic. The
Okay.
original game, I recommend playing the original game if you want to play something that's, I mean, it's a little dated, but it's still fun.
Okay.
It's also probably on Games Pass.
It might actually be. I don't know.
Yeah, it's coming to Games Pass.
Oh, then
but
there's Halo.
Destiny 2.
Yeah,
No,
Halo.
I just don't care. Stalker 2. I didn't know there was a Stalker 1.
Oh yeah, Stalker's been around.
No, the Stalker series actually were pretty decent.
I've never heard of them.
Low key, actually pretty good.
That's cool. And then Warhammer Dark Tide.
Okay. The Stalker stuff is like weirdo. Think kind of like Metro Exodus. It's weirdo. You are basically nomad in Chernobyl, basically trying to survive, kind of.
Yeah.
Like it's low key. They were actually pretty solid games.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think again though, not a console seller, but like if you like that kind of survival style, they were pretty good games.
And then they had Warhammer 40K Dark Tide, which apparently I don't know. I mean, I've never played Warhammer, but I know that Warhammer has a diehard following.
Hey, thank you,
So,
Enser, for the thanks, Tate, for the gift to Enser. Yeah,
Nice. I mean, I know the Warhammer series. There's a lot of people that really like Warhammer, so this will probably appeal to them. I guess.
Definitely a lot of people like Warhammer.
Dude, I like Warhammer, but I'm gonna be real with you. There's still only been 2 good Warhammer games. 3.
I
Warhammer games ever.
Was Vermintide or whatever it is a Warhammer
Vermintide.
game?
Yeah.
Vermintide is
a Warhammer game. Yeah, right. Okay.
Yeah, Vermintide actually really great game. It's just that Left 4 Dead
I never
kind of
fully
stuff.
understood. I never fully understood the lore of Warhammer 40K. Was it like
There's a lot.
Like
There's
much technology, but it's not fantasy, but it is kind of fantasy, but it's like science fantasy.
It's like a space opera.
It's totally fantasy and it's totally kind of opera-ish, but
like
It depends on if you're going 40K or if you're going OG Warhammer. OG Warhammer, the old world is more traditional.
Which one
fantasy.
is Vermintide? Is that Warhammer?
That is Warhammer.
Okay.
So that is more traditional high fantasy type of stuff, and then 40K is the same idea but in space.
So what's Shadowrun? I know that's like there's a term for it where it's like where magic and where it's like fantasy world of magic meets like the science world of technology where they meld into one.
Yeah, I can't.
Shadowrun is like that.
Yeah.
The old tabletop games are wild. There's such a cult following for all of them.
It's just high fantasy sci-fi.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone knows D&D, but then you get into Pathfinder, which is like the second most known. And Warhammer, I guess, would be third. And then
but like Warhammer is
Shadowrun.
even different. Like I want to consider.
And then Cyberpunk, it was a tabletop RPG. Like
right.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a lot of good ones. This seems like, as someone who is a fan of Warhammer, I'm not holding my breath for this. It does look pretty, but the point I was trying to get to is Total War's made a really good Warhammer game. Vermintide's made a really good Warhammer game.
Yeah,
that's about it. And there's about
so Warhammer 40K
fucking Warhammer games.
So Warhammer 40K hasn't had a good game yet.
True.
The two games,
in my opinion, I mean, I guess you could go like what Dawn of War 2. That was all right for an RTS. Like, but there's been a lot of Warhammer games and a lot. That was 40K.
That was 40K.
The Dawn of War. The Dawn of War 40K.
It's hard to know from like the names. Like Dawn of War totally sounds like could be just a regular Warhammer.
Yeah. That one was all right. Like I'm not holding my breath because the point is like basically everyone and their mother can get the rights to Warhammer.
Yeah,
and that's led to a lot of really shit games.
Yeah.
Okay. And then they announced Tetris Effect Connected, which is Tetris Effect. So it's a new version of it that's coming to Xbox. Tetris Effect did not come to Xbox, I believe. It came on the PS4 and PC.
Yep.
This will have multiplayer, which is cool, but I still argue that the best multiplayer Tetris is still Tetris 99.
Yeah.
That game is still so good.
I don't care about Tetris in the first place, but if I'm going to play Tetris, I'll play 99.
I'm not going to lie.
And I'm going to be honest, I'm not
going
to play Tetris.
I like Tetris on the phone.
I'm a huge
on
Tetris fan. I used to play. I remember the Razor phones.
Yeah, when you put
I had Tetris on there.
When you take a shit, Tetris is a great game.
Dude, I was always 100% Team Snake.
Oh, you're a Snake guy?
Fuck Tetris. Snake's better.
Puyo Puyo, I tried.
I don't even.
Hard.
I don't even know what that is.
It's like Tetris. It's like.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, but it's the
like the bubble like game, right?
Jellies. It's like the jellies, and you have to like create these weird combos.
Yeah.
That create trash for your opponent. It's really wild to watch. I think like the Western audience would know it best if you remember that old N64 game, Pokemon Puzzle League. That was essentially a Puyo Puyo skin.
Okay, I could see that. The Puzzle League was bad.
A lot of people really like that game. I know people play competitively.
I don't know. I hated it, dude.
They're very good. I've tried to play them and I get bodied. They just know the game.
I if it's anything related to Tetris, I just don't like it. I'm sorry. It's not for me. I can admit some of them are good, but I don't care, dude.
So they followed that up with a game that's actually really interesting. I want to see gameplay of this. Medium, or The Medium, where you essentially control two characters at the same time in two different universes.
Yeah, this looks cool.
In the same location. It looks like a crazy psychological horror.
It just looks like a cool
idea.
idea.
Of dual reality is such a neat concept, but I need to see gameplay.
Yeah. No, it sounds cool and it looks really cool, but it does give me what was the brothers game?
The Two Brothers or something like
that? Not necessarily Two Brothers.
No, I know what you're talking about. A Way Out.
Is it a way? It might be A Way Out, but there was the game
where you played you could play like two people play it and it's a co-op.
Yeah, it's a two-player co-op game, but you got guns in. It's a gritty, edgy story.
Yeah, that guy made it, right?
The one who was like, fuck the Oscars.
Yeah, the fuck the Oscars guy. Is that what you're talking about?
I'm not talking about. I don't know. There's two I'm thinking
that's what
of.
It sounds like.
I'm not talking about the pretty one that actually won awards. That was like about.
I don't
children.
think A Way Out was received very well.
I think it was A Way Out. Yeah. I don't know. That's what
Because
gives
it was
me
when
worry.
I remember when it was announced, it was like, oh, this is a really interesting idea. Like you're co-oping
But it was
this
a shit
game at the
game.
same time. Yeah, but it was a bad game.
That's my concern with this, but it could be really cool because I still want to see this concept executed well.
Yeah, me too.
Because it is a really good, cool concept.
It looks cool. Like they show, at least in their trailer, they show it like flashing. Like you can just jump into another reality almost immediately, which looks pretty interesting. It's kind of like
So
how
then
it's kind of like how the Ratchet and Clank trailer was like showcasing the SSD. That's kind of what I get from this. It's like we're showcasing like the hardware really with this technology.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I said, it's a neat concept. I want to see more of it. So that's a game. Like I don't usually play horror games, but just the concept alone actually has me interested in trying it out.
What about Crossfire?
When it comes to PC,
yeah. What about Crossfire?
I have no interest whatsoever in Crossfire.
It looks like a mobile shooter.
Whatever.
Yeah, it
What
looks
I do
pretty
have
good.
interest in is Phantasy Star Online 3. I'm sorry, I mean New Genesis Phantasy Star
Excuse
Online
me.
2.
Before we get to that, it's actually Crossfire X.
Yes, Crossfire
Okay.
capital
Whatever.
X. But it is created by Remedy, who did do Quantum Break, which was pretty cool, and Alan
Are we
Wake.
sure it's not like Dragon Ball Fighters? So it's Crossfires.
No, I don't think so.
I mean, hey, dude, all I'm thinking is old AMD graphics cards.
I know what you're talking about.
Doofy.
I actually know what you're talking about with that one. I get that reference.
Fantasy Star looks kind of cool. No, you don't think so, Doobie?
I'm digging it. I'm excited
Maybe it's
to
Phantasy
check this
Star.
out.
It's not as good as WoW, but it's Fantasy
So
Star.
it's gonna be free to play.
Oh my God! Look at this guy's face, though. Did they really have
It's so
this?
anime.
This is the worst character model I think I've ever seen in a game. Look at his face.
They imported
Is that
the
a
character model
joke?
They imported the character model from base 2.
Is that a joke?
From the Dreamcast version.
From their dream is what
probably,
their
honestly.
fever dream is where they imported this from. That looks terrifying.
But free to play.
That does look absolutely terrifying.
Oh my God!
Free
The
to play.
suit looks cool.
New engine. They're not calling it free because 2 still makes them a crap ton of money in Japan, especially.
But that doesn't make any sense. Why not just
Marketing.
call it 3? It's not like this.
Marketing.
It's not like they're calling it
People-
not Fantasy Star.
Because people won't move over.
Okay, yeah, there you go.
If you call it 3, people think they're going to lose everything and they won't move over.
Okay.
Then your player base stays on one thing. They want to have, and that's why they're doing this is the same launcher.
Yeah.
And they're offering you they're offering you to move your character over and move your all of your cosmetics, because let's be honest, MMOs and cosmetics are huge.
Yeah.
But your weapons, I think they carry over, they said, but they're gonna, like, if they're gonna rework them all, you can't equip them until you hit a certain level. Your stats and everything reset to 1.
Wait, what are they playing Fantasy Star 2 on?
Currently on this, and on if you're in the US, on the Windows Store. But it is coming to Steam.
No, like what are people playing Fantasy Star 2 on? Is that an Xbox game? Or is that a
Phantasy Star
Dreamcast
Online
game?
2 originally was a Dreamcast game.
Yeah,
but then
that's
they
what I
redid
remember it.
They redid it 8 years ago in Japan. We never got it here.
Oh.
Till Xbox did that deal to bring it over here, which made a lot of people very happy.
They did it on
because
what?
it's
Xbox?
On Xbox and Windows Store.
Oh, okay.
But
Okay.
it is moving to Steam. That was announced today that Steam is getting it as a client. So I can uninstall the thing off my Windows Store because I don't want to run it off there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, the
But this will
problems
be
a lot
on
of people
Games
have
Pass,
with,
so you can run it off. I mean, if
yeah.
you want to do it on Games Pass, you'll do it
I mean, it's
through the Windows
free,
Store.
so
Yeah.
it's
Oh,
free
it's
to
a
play
free.
it
Oh, it's a free to play
already.
game. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
it's a free to play MMO. But the thing is, like, a lot of people love the combat. They really like the mobility options in Phantasy Star Online 2. But the problems they had was it's a lot of sub menus. It got kind of way too complicated, and the game is very corridor based. Whereas this game, we're already showing you, no, we're gonna open up the areas, make it almost like Monster Hunter-y.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
So that solves a lot of problems for people that they had with the original PSO2. So I'm cool. I'm gonna check it out. It's free. Well, definitely check it out.
Yeah. Is this coming early?
And then
No, 2020.
2021.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a lot. Everything's gonna be a lot.
Well, to me, the biggest news is Fable.
Yeah, and then they showed off Fable, which is awesome.
And by showed off, I mean they did the Elder Scrolls.
Yeah, they did the Elder Scrolls 6 model
Yeah.
of, hi, here's a cutscene. We're working on it. Don't ask us.
Well, can we rename that though? Like, they did do the Elder Scrolls 6 example of, hey, this game will be out in 4 years, but this entire show was that format. So could we just rename it the Xbox format?
Microsoft format.
Yeah, like literally every single game shown in this.
I just realized this
website.
I just realized this website says is a Microsoft big website. Because I was like, their last comment, it did not disappoint. No, this thing disappointed. Let's be honest.
Yeah, it was a little
This thing was a disappointment.
They've all been. I mean, Nintendo, can't even really say that they had a conference at all.
Well, I mean, PlayStation, I wouldn't call them a disappointment.
It's not.
It was like lukewarm, but it wasn't a disappointment.
It was a disappointment in that we didn't really get much in the way of like gameplay footage. Like we got a bunch of just
dates.
nice
gameplay or dates.
Dates.
Didn't get any of it.
All we got was like we probably get Spider-Man soon, and we know when the PS5.
Did you watch the Devolver Digital Showcase?
I don't know. When was it?
It was really good, and one of the jokes they had running through it was that the cycle now is you build hype. Everything is just games that don't even come out yet.
Yeah.
And these two press conferences from Sony and Microsoft were literally that.
Yeah.
It felt like Devolver Digital was not being a parody. It felt like they were actually telling the truth there.
Yeah. Yeah, and Devolver, of course, if you guys remember this one. Devolver, of course, always their conferences are always like this. What was the last one that they did? Didn't they like murder everyone or something?
That was the one where they hooked their CEO's brain up to do virtual Nintendo style direct.
Oh yeah.
And this one was the idea of them escaping that.
Yeah.
But the big punchlines were, we build hype and we announce games that don't even exist or never will exist, but we announce them to build hype.
Yeah. Yeah, Devolver is fucking awesome, man. They've really been a great publisher. Yeah, overall, I think the Xbox showcase was pretty disappointing. We just didn't get too much. But I'm not really concerned with that so much. Like, I don't see Xbox anymore as like a console selling. I don't know. I see it like I just see Games Pass, and I'm just like, I'll just keep Games Pass in a PC. I'll have a PS5. And then I'm good. You know what I mean? I think so many people are going to go that route. And of course, you're going to have a Switch on the side for whenever you want to play your mobile games. Sorry.
For sure. Like I said, I always view the Switch as a great companion to owning a PC or a console or. Like, I have three. I have PS4, Switch, and PC. I feel like I'm completely covered on my gaming basis.
That's where I'm at too, and that's probably what I'm going to do this next gen.
Yeah,
I was the same way.
I was PS5, and hey, dude, I still got an awesome PC and a Switch.
I was the same way with the Wii. Like the Wii, not my go-to system, but it's a great companion piece to my 360.
I wish I could agree. I don't, but I do still have a Wii U, so.
And I don't even think Microsoft cares. I don't think
do anything with it.
I don't think Microsoft even cares to want you to get a console. It seems like they're just like, if you want Games Pass, there's going to be some games that come out on it. It's like, I forget, $15 a month, and that's it. And then you can just get it all on your PC. It's pretty fucking insane. It's pretty rad. Like, you don't even need an Xbox anymore. You really don't. All these games are going to be on Xbox. You know? So that's kind of cool. So if you have a PS5, if you have a PS5 and a computer, you have both consoles now. You don't have to buy another console. You just need to get the PS5. How long until Sony jumps on that train? Probably never, right? We don't ever see Sony going that route.
They possibly could eventually, but not anytime soon, because they sold
Games Pass route.
They sold their PC market share basically a long time ago. So
yeah.
Yeah, you'll see their games come to PC once their console's dead. So, Horizon Zero Dawn coming to PC
soon, right?
Very soon, I believe. Yeah,
next week or something. When is it coming out? It's August something.
It's been up for pre-order for a while, so
Let's see here. Is there a date on it? Let's see. Steam.
When it launched, it was the highest selling Steam game.
August 7th, so next week.
Oh yeah, nice.
You'll get it next Friday. Am I really gonna have to buy the game again? Shit, dude.
I
am not
I might
anytime
double dip on
soon.
it.
Shit.
I will eventually.
Yeah,
but I'm
maybe
not
I-
buying it day one.
I'm
Maybe
gonna
I'll
wait until
wait.
see what modders do to it first.
Yeah, maybe I'll
But
wait.
yeah, it's that, and then on
That'll
top
sell
of it,
me.
I would like
If
to
it's
play it
got a
again.
really
It's
good
so
build,
it's
good.
also it's
so
totally
fun.
it's the ultimate game of, hey dude, once it's like $20 on Steam, yeah, I'm buying a second copy.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna pay $60 for a no mod experience when I can still go play it right now.
Yeah, I'm gonna wait till the modders have their hands at it, and then once there's like a dope amount of mods, I'm like, okay, now it's worth buying.
Yeah.
Because I want to play it again, but I want to play it like uniquely.
I can't wait to
an
play it
experience
again.
I can only get on PC.
I
which
can't
is
wait to
modding.
see it in 60 frames. That's really why I want to get it.
I want a Tribal Wars mod, dude.
Okay.
I want
Zoids.
I want you. Yeah, like I want you. Well, I don't even want the Zoids, but
I want the Zoids.
But like I want the Tribal Wars of like, okay, so you choose, the tribe you're from, or you can join a new one, and then it just like I want a mod that just turns it back to that war that's always mentioned in the story, basically.
Mhm.
But you never actually see. Like, yeah, give me that. Because
Yeah, that would be
someone will
fucking
probably
sick.
eventually make that, and that would be really cool.
Someone make that if no one's working on that, work on that, please. That sounds amazing. All right, Cuphead coming to PS4. It's out, $20.
So Cuphead's out, $20, PS4. Not a surprise that it eventually moved there. The game is sold very well on all of its platforms. So give MDHR more money so they can make more stuff like the DLC that's going to be coming. And the Cuphead show on Netflix that they're working on, which actually might be really cool.
Yeah,
They keep that 1930s animation with good music. I'll watch that.
yeah,
But
Cuphead.
will
then-
you watch the new Witcher reboot part 2?
The Witcher Pro. Oh god, what's it?
The prologue, the before Geralt.
Yeah, it's like the prequel.
Okay, I
Wait,
love
is that
The
a
Witcher.
thing?
Yes, that is a
Yeah,
thing that
got
Netflix
announced.
announced already. It's a 6-episode miniseries, and I was like, okay, that's a cool idea, but like, do more than one season first before you're already branching out into sub like miniseries.
Yeah, and
I
as
want
far
season 2, dude.
as far as the Cuphead DLC goes, they pretty much came out and said, "Hey, it'll be ready when it's ready. Just wait."
Okay, hey,
Like, that's fine as long as you make it a really good experience.
I can
I'll wait.
absolutely wait for Cuphead DLC.
Cuphead's like
I
still
haven't
one of
known
my
that.
favorite indie games of all time.
Yeah, I find that interesting. I do find that interesting. Spider-Man Miles Morales may be bundled with remastered Marvel's Spider-Man, which is pretty cool. That would be a great way to get people to get in there.
It would make sense.
Yeah, especially since it's a DLC that's not a DLC.
It's a
Yeah, so there's a rumored state of play for next week that maybe we, if that actually happens, maybe we see more of it.
I mean, that'd
Oh,
be cool
really?
because hey, there's a slightly better reason to buy a PS5 at launch, but I still don't think a good
Also,
enough reason.
I'm gonna ask this question: who do you think
Definitely not a good
shoots
enough reason.
first between Xbox and between Microsoft and Sony? Who announces their price first?
Thank you, Slave, for your hosting, by the way. Who announces
I-
price for the console? You're saying?
Yeah, who do you think's gonna say their price first? Because they're both like just standoff right now. They're not saying anything on the price.
I mean, if Sony's announcing more stuff next week, probably Sony then.
Wait, I
I'm
thought the
just
price
guessing
was
based off of
released.
the next.
The prices were rumored, not
Yeah.
confirmed.
Oh, I
There's
thought the
never been a
price were-
confirmation
was
on the price
released.
point yet for either system.
Wow.
It's almost like a game of like back and forth with them to see who's gonna undercut who.
I think Sony will release first because I don't think they care about what Microsoft is doing. And I
I would
don't
agree
think
with that.
Microsoft cares either. I think Microsoft is so far out of left field with what they're doing that you can't even factor them into the console race. They may sell like a good amount of Xboxes, but I really think like they're just kind of very just like, we just have this platform now and we're going to have a lot of third-party developers, and we got Halo, and if you want to get games passed, then that's fine, but you could play on Xbox, you could sign in on Switch, where PS5 is clearly like Sony, like this is our world, this is our ecosystem, we're making sure we get the best first-party exclusives, we're making sure that, kind of like the traditional gaming route. So I think Sony comes out, they say $500-$600, Microsoft comes out, they undercut it by $100, and I still think Sony wins, you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, that's the problem I had with this last generation was like that was the Xbox strategy after a while was, hey, here's the Xbox S or Series S, and it's way cheaper. You know what I mean? It's noticeably cheaper, $60 cheaper, but at the same time, like, is one game difference in price worth losing access to 10 games? No.
Yeah, exactly. And it makes it even it makes it even more difficult to buy into Xbox when half of them
$50 price difference.
Yeah,
start talking.
Especially now since you have a PC, and almost all these games are coming out on PC. So it's just like, why would you ever get an Xbox if you have a PC? Of course.
If it's a $50 price difference, that why? Who cares?
Yeah.
And they're gonna be that close. You know what I mean? Neither of them are gonna actually dramatically undercut each other that much. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it would be telling if Microsoft does release at like $350, $400, where Sony's coming in at $450, $500.
That would be big.
I think that would be very telling of Microsoft just slamming their margins and then just saying we're basically just care about services, because that would be just a huge loss because the technology is not that different. The cost of the devices, how they make it can't be that much different. They're essentially the same platform, so it's going to be fascinating to see. So we'll probably get it when they do that state of play, which
that'd be my guess.
I thought that's what we had before, but I guess it wasn't a state of play. I guess it was just a PS5 release announcement or something. I'm not sure. What was that? What is that thing they did?
I can't remember, but honestly, the state of play they might just start doing more of since there's no E3 still. And hey, if Nintendo can do it, why can't Sony?
Just like the mini ones, just whenever. Yeah. Koei Tecmo financial report states Persona 5 Scramble will get a Western release.
I feel like we kind of knew this already, but this just confirms it.
Yeah,
it's kind of cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely nice to see that even the quote unquote side titles will be coming to the West. Do kind of pray that now that we know that Shin Megami Tensei 5 is a simultaneous release, that all future releases after this, and with that, will be simultaneous.
Okay.
Persona sells enough in the West that I think, and this will be on the Switch and PS4, it'll sell.
Yeah.
It'll actually probably sell very well.
Suikoden's creator Euden Chronicle Kickstarter is now live. Hit its goal in hours. I saw this stuff on Twitter.
Yeah, it's I'm a huge, so my favorite era in gaming will always be the SNES, PlayStation 1 JRPGs.
Mom, I want a vape.
That's like my all-time favorite era. Suikoden 1 and 2, very much a big part of that era. Konami has not done anything with the franchise in 14 years now. It's just dead. So the creator of Suikoden 1 and 2 has got a lot of the members from the old team back, and they put out this Kickstarter for Eiyuden Chronicles, which looks like it's very much inspired by Suikoden. The art style is pure like Octopath. This looks like Octopath with that art style, which I love. That's such a great art direction. The soundtrack's going to be done by Motoi Sakuraba, who people would know from Dark Souls series, who also does a lot of RPG soundtracks. Did Star Ocean, did Baiten Kaitos, did the Tales of series. So the soundtrack's going to be dope.
I can't believe that. Wow, it's almost up to 2 million now.
I backed it for 150. So
you motherfucking crazy motherfucker!
I'm excited for this. I don't generally back Kickstarters. Don't get me wrong.
Oh, you say that, but this is like the third one you backed, Doobie.
In my lifetime, this is the second one I've backed.
How many have you backed, Jerry?
Oh, you actually want to know? A big fat 0.
Same here, 0.
Bye.
I backed it. I don't care.
That's my new drop, by the way. I've been using it on DIY all the time.
Bye-bye.
But yeah. The fact
You're
that
nuts. You're out of your mind.
It's on the Bloodstained. I think it's on like the same pace. I think it's actually faster pace than Bloodstained was.
Yeah.
Which is pretty impressive. I always told my buddy, I was like, he was like, I can't believe they already hit it. I'm like, dude, Suikoden fan base is very diehard. Very.
Yeah, I guess so.
It's a cult classic. They really love that series.
Yeah, people dropping 150 bones.
Yeah.
More
Go
more
through.
than that.
There's a lot of description to this game, but what I did like about their Kickstarter is they do address
1,000 yen is $10. So 1,000.
A little less than that, but yeah.
Yeah, that's
So,
what it says. A little about $10.
Yeah, so the 15,000 yen was like $145.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good. I didn't know what the yen conversion rate is, but that's an easy way to.
Yeah. What I do
remember
like
that.
is that they do address the kind of mistakes that other Kickstarters have made in the past. So they at least recognize some of the pitfalls of doing a Kickstarter, like poorly planned stretch goals.
I mean,
No one wants to fund a Kickstarter and wait years for the game to be released. The reality is some of the most successful Japanese game Kickstarters were a handful of creators working with a single small developer. They weren't able to scale based on increased content. Exclusive releases for a quick money grab. They've confirmed with any potential publisher that we will not sign a contract with them that shuts off a key platform for our backers. Essentially, no Epic Store exclusive for a year shit.
yeah.
Too many platforms. They're not promising for super old. What they mean is they're gonna do Xbox One, Xbox Series X, PS4, PS5, and Nintendo's next generation console.
So the Switch.
The elephant in the room is that while nobody knows what Nintendo's plans are for when this game releases, in just about every major Japanese game crowdfunding campaign, when a lower spec hardware has been listed on the campaign, it has invariably been too expensive, oftentimes requiring downgrading textures, massive amounts of code rewrites, effectively meaning building two games. Which is what happened with Bloodstained, I think, had an issue because they were going to offer on the Wii U, and then when the Switch came out, they're like, hey, we have to cancel doing it for the Wii U. We can't do it.
Yeah, smart.
Because
Don't just
it's
do
so
one.
low.
Just do one or two platforms.
Yeah, so they said that they'll try to do it for the Switch 2 or whatever comes out. And if the Switch is still available, like that's still the console when they do get to doing all of the rest of the game, if there is no solution, they will do the rewrites and stuff like that. But they will also offer refunds to any backers who pledge for the Switch.
Hey, but guess what? You unlocked a fishing minigame.
I know. I was just about to say-
Yeah.
I was just
Hey
about to
man,
say-
what's a JRPG without a fishing minigame?
So
Come
this is
on.
interesting. They have like goals here. So $500,000 if it was funded, you get the journey begins. That's the minimum
I'm
goal.
sorry. Also, by the way, I did do the math. 20,000 people just got scammed for an average of $100. So good job.
$750,000. A good place to live. Fortress Town mode. $1 million. A War on Many Fronts consoles unlocked.
No,
What
this
does
does
that
sound
mean?
kind of cool if this is what you're at too.
So they mean if they hit
Yeah.
$1 million,
I mean-
then they would port to consoles.
That would be the
Right.
if they didn't hit that, it would just be a PC release.
Oh, okay. Okay, that makes sense. I like
so
that.
the funding goals are how much work do we have to put in this freaking game?
So
basically.
for $250,000, it costs them a mini game, a cooking mini game.
Yeah,
$500,000 new game
which-
plus.
The cooking minigame in Suikoden 2, one of my favorite minigames in a JRPG. Not gonna lie.
Is that worth the added goal?
$250,000? Hell yeah.
Let me ask you if the goal right now is at 1.8, they're trying to hit 2 million, and then at
they
2
just
million
met the
there's
fishing
a
minigame.
oh so they
At
all right
2.1.
right.
So this is where we're so the idea with Suikoden was that it's 108 characters you can recruit.
Yeah.
Which is based on an old folklore tale of 108 stars of destiny in a war. That's kind of where they drew inspiration from it. So the game's called Eiyuden Chronicles.
Ayuden.
Eiyuden.
Ayuden.
Holy
100
shit, the
heroes.
whales, dude.
100
game-
heroes.
This
100
game's
heroes.
got whales.
1.8 million was the 101st hero, and 2.1 million is going to be the 102nd hero, which is a shark mercenary, just a shark man. which looks
Sure.
dope.
Sure.
Really looks cool. The art style I saw in the artwork.
You know, I will say this is a back game that, like, at least there's a lot they tell you.
True.
Yeah, there is a lot of information.
Yeah, I mean, this is a huge
there's
page.
enough that there's at least multiple people who have pledged over $7,000.
Oh my god.
Dude, I'm telling you, the Suikoden fan base, the RPG fan
my
base, is
God.
not to be trifled with.
Oh my.
They've got money and they will spend it.
That's what I was saying about like the whales. There's over 100 people who have pledged over $1,000 already in a day.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Oh yeah.
You JRPG fans are nuts.
Jason Schreier is all over this game. That's why it's been all over Twitter. He's a huge
yeah.
Suikoden fan. So like, this is a project I wouldn't be surprised if he dropped God knows how much on this.
Yeah, he's probably got some good money in there. All right. Well, hopefully you
I'm
guys
excited
get
for
it.
it.
I hope you guys
And then
get
there's
it.
still been a shit ton of people who have pledged at least $100.
Yeah, I did the
2000s.
I did the Order of the Archivist, which is a physical version, a sigil button, CD soundtrack, an art book, and beta access. The beta access, what they essentially is a demo. You get to test out the battle system before anyone else, and they are going to be taking feedback from it. So I do hope they kind of go the Octopath route, where like they actually listen to the feedback.
Yeah.
It was one of my big things with the Octopath Traveler demo was we told them like my big cons were like the text was too small. The text didn't move fast enough, and there was no cutscene skips. And all three of those things were addressed in the final build.
Yeah.
So as long as you listen to the people that are giving you feedback, like actually listening and actually implementing those changes.
I would hope they do, since you are one of 1,794 people who have done that.
Yeah.
You know, I hope that the game does get
and that's only for one of the
or does
pledges
go
of backers. Like
I hope you guys get
there's
it.
a
I
bunch
hope
that have.
now I'll get a
Oh
question.
no! If you for the $95 rank, there's still 1,415.
Well, what if the game?
And
What
then
if
the $90 there's 1,500.
if they don't create it? Do you get your money back? Is that how that works?
So the project will only be funded if it reaches the goal by Saturday, August 29th. On that day, I am charged for it. Then you would have to go through a refund process eventually at some point if it were to not come
So
out.
basically beat then if the game
You'd have
like
to charge back, or I mean, there's been Kickstarters that have pretty much been scams where they literally steal your money.
yeah.
There's been a few gaming ones like that.
Well, I'm not even worried about that. Like I think this looks legit, but it looks more like if it's too ambitious, like a Star Citizen thing. You know what I mean?
That's what they mentioned too in their giant post of information was the stretch goals. They didn't want to make them too ambitious.
Yeah. No, it looks.
That's what a lot of
they
they address the pitfalls that a lot of people do make them too ambitious, and then they can't deliver because they have to spend more development time to the point where they actually start losing money and don't have enough money to finish it.
Yeah.
Let me tell you about the game Chronicles of Illyria. If
Oh,
you've ever heard of that.
Yes.
If you want to talk about overly ambitious
what a
MMO
shit show.
scams.
I am unaware.
What
Tell
a
me real
shit
quick.
show.
Give me the. Give me the
It was a
rundown.
private funded game originally, which it wasn't. It was the dude put $7,000 into it, then went to Kickstarter, scammed a couple of million people basically, and then completely dipped and just disappeared.
Okay. Well,
$7.9 million.
I've never backed a Kickstarter. I've never done a GoFundMe. I've done like a charity one. I lied. I've done a charity one, maybe once or twice, and that's how I think life should go. Essentially.
I forgot. The scam was so bad that the last video I can remember of this, I just went and found so I could remember what the name of the game was correctly. He had to also post an update of, hey, I posted this at 2 a.m. in my country of UK. I forgot that it's April 1st in America still. No, this is not an April Fool's joke.
That is so scary to me, man. I mean, there's been like in the vaping industry, in the high-end vaping world, there's been like sort of the same thing where like high-end mods like, oh, I'm going to create like this mod with this chip in it and you got to reach this goal. And what you do is you spend $500 for the mod, and then people will of course add like an extra $100 to support the creator. But you won't see that any updates on it for like 3-4 years in the future, and then all of a sudden up in smoke.
Cloud Boys.
Yeah, something similar to that, right? Something similar to.
Dude, they're all fucking up. King of Bangladesh, my boy, has already shown me all it takes to make a mod, dude.
King of Bangladesh, yeah.
Dude,
Just a battery and some
I just
metal.
need some coffee, a battery, and a wire, dude. And you just hold it.
All right. Any other gaming news?
And your hands have to be completely covered in VG and PG and sweat the
and
entire
dirt
time.
and like you've been rolling around in the mud. All right. Big camera news. Big camera news.
Are we getting into it? Okay.
Time to get into it.
Wait, one quick first little tech rumor that I have heard, and this is the only other tech rumor I've really heard, is there are rumors in the Apple supply chain of the Apple Silicon MacBooks coming out, but the rumor is the 12-inch refresh might only cost $800.
Oh. Interesting.
So
I haven't seen any other tech news.
That would be really cool. I'm just putting it out there. $800 MacBook with a good screen on it that you can actually edit ROS 5 or EOS R5 footage on.
Yeah.
That could be cool.
Fascinating, actually.
So that's also my segue into cameras, is because that's
Okay.
the hope of Apple Silicon is, hey, they can actually decode 2.65 footage.
Yeah, they're like the only one. They're like, I mean, from what I've tested, they've been the only ones to be able to do it.
Max digging into it, that makes sense that, oh yeah, no one has a hardware decode for 10-bit. That makes sense. That's why if I ever go into 10-bit F-log, my computer dies.
Yeah.
And I have a good computer, you know what I mean? And I even just
same.
got a graphics card like 2 months ago.
Yeah.
And it still just dies.
Sometimes I record streams. If we do extra long streams, I'll record it in H.265, and on Premiere, it's just like, and it's 1080p.
Yeah.
It's 1080p.
Dude, and it's not just Premiere. It's anything.
Yeah.
It's Premiere. It's Resolve. It's any of them. And it's because it's there is no hardware decode in any AMD or NVIDIA card.
Yeah.
Which is insane to me. So yeah, I also
we should see it in Turing. I believe.
I honestly do. Maybe, hopefully.
Yeah.
It should have already been out though.
Yeah.
But because I currently am also doing the same trick of, hey, dude, I just put it on my fucking iPad.
And it's insane. It's insane. And it's fucking quick.
My fucking A10 4-year-old iPad demolishes
it's
my
insane.
fucking $3,000 computer.
4K 10-bit files, uncompressed compressed 422 10-bit files, 4K, and it runs on the third-party LumaFusion app beautifully. It's fucking nuts. That Adobe that I pay like $30 a fucking month to can't fucking figure out. Come on. All right. Anyways, the big news: the Sony A7s3, the unicorn. We never thought we'd see this camera. It's been 6 years, I think.
Dude,
5 or 6 years.
I've never been happier and also more pissed off. And the reason why I'm pissed off is I have to take back all of my jokes over the last 3 weeks that Sony this is the best Sony Alpha Rumors has ever done. Like,
yeah,
don't get me wrong, there's still a lot of bullshit that seemed like bullshit and turned out to be bullshit. But for like the main actual features,
the 16-bit RAW, that's in there. The flip screen, that's in there. What else was there? There's something that said like 18 stops of dynamic range. That didn't turn out.
The 16-bit RAW is still dumb to me. Okay? So the way the 16-bit RAW works, because I started digging into this a lot more, it technically is 16-bit RAW, but you're never going to see it as 16-bit because they do the same thing as Airy and everyone else, and that's what's taking Atomos some time mostly, is it comes out at 16-bit and then gets compressed to 12-bit.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So really, it's a 12-bit file.
Yeah. It's almost, it's a downscaled 12-bit.
It's
which is
16
awesome.
Downscaled to 12.
I mean, that's awesome.
Still is fucking insane.
Yeah, and you get it. All right, so let's go over the camera, the specs, the big specs.
Yeah, this camera's fucking awesome. It's Canon. You actually have competition now. Panasonic stepped up. Fuck, dude. Sorry, I've been losing it all day.
The big specs: 12 megapixel sensor, 4K 10-bit 422 video internal, all the way up to 120 frames per second. No overheating. There's only overheating at the highest mode at an hour, and hopefully, and it does pretty bad in direct sunlight. That's always been a Sony thing. It's just a Sony issue right now, is that for some reason their bodies get really hot in sun, and there's no overheating. There is overheating, but it's not like a Canon where you have to be very, very mindful of the limitations from what we're seeing. It's got a legit viewfinder, optical electronic viewfinder. It's probably the best on any camera.
It is. And hey, here's where I have to give Sony props. You fooled me. I didn't want to believe you, but you actually did decide to, hey, we can put a good viewfinder on it and do a flippy screen and not use this as code for no flippy screen.
Yeah. There is a flippy screen. It's not a very high quality screen like on a Canon.
No, the flippy screen looks like shit, honestly, but I don't care. It's there.
As long as you can see the framing, really. That's all that's really for.
No, because it does look like they ripped it off the CV1.
It looks like the same screen, yeah.
And it doesn't look like a good screen. I hate for some reason I just hate that screen because it's asymmetrical and that irks me, and I don't know why, but it just really irks me.
I know. I don't know why they can't do like I don't know why these screens are so difficult. Like, I guess they're just too expensive. Like a cell phone screen. Like, how sick would it be to have like a legit cell phone screen flip out from your camera? You know what I mean? Sure. That runs Android or runs iOS or something. That'd be
like
so
sick.
Sick.
That would be awesome. Yeah, but like I'm not even asking for that. I
know,
like,
me either.
Just make it symmetrical. Like that's all I wanted.
Yeah.
Like, I don't why is yeah. I don't know. It's for those who haven't seen it. It's an asymmetrical screen. You have like an inch fucking not really, but in comparison, it's
a thick little border.
The left side you have like 3 times the amount of margin than you do on the right side. I don't like it.
Oh, I know why they do it. They do it because probably they just add extra. I don't know. I'm thinking maybe they add extra real estate
to move it out a little bit.
Yeah,
I can see that, but even just make it symmetrical.
Yeah. New menu system. Everyone's been asking for menu systems. It's revamped. You can use your touchscreen to use it. That's excellent.
It still looks like trash, honestly. Okay.
Every menu system.
Let me rephrase that. It does not look like trash. It doesn't look good. No. But it looks monumentally better.
As long as you can touch it. As long as you can touch it, because you couldn't do that. Well,
you can. Yeah,
it's so annoying.
You can touch it, but also like I've gone through like DP Review and a bunch of other people. I've been looking through their videos when they're going through the menus, and I've just been like, oh, I understand what this menu is.
Yeah.
And that's completely different than old Sony menus. Like if you're actually looking through the entire thing, it's named properly. If you hit the movie tab, you're suddenly seeing, oh yeah, here's shutter speed controls and this and this and this, or here's movie like picture profile, etc. And it's not named some archaic, bizarre shit.
Yeah. Well, like, it's not just like one. It's not just like page 1, 2, 3, 4, A, B, C, D.
Right. And well, there's still a lot of weird pages to it, but at least it's
condensed.
It's actually organized.
It's
and
fun.
It's actually mapped well. So it's like cool. If I want to change my image quality, I can just hit picture profile, image quality. Here it is. Like it.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about the menu. The menus, they fixed the menus. Very happy with that. Hybrid autofocus they fixed. It's so much better. It's up to like the A9 standards now. It's the highest quality autofocus you can get in a Sony.
But wait, they did add something that Fuji's had that I really, really like, and I'm happy they added that I think makes it a lot cooler and better. So it's still super fucking fast, and it's even faster. It looks really great. But they did add the little controls to it so you can actually slow it down if you want to.
Yeah, they had like the autofocus curves.
Right. Curves basically. So it isn't, because that Sony sometimes can be just like very jerky fast, where it's a little bit jarring, and you can kind of slow that down just slightly so it's a more gradual pull. Like,
well, they had like fast and then they had slow. There was really no controller in between.
Right. And now you can I'm still want to keep seeing more footage, but that's a huge thing because, I mean, yeah, you can actually get your autofocus so you actually like the look of your autofocus polling, and it's still fast.
And it's as good as, from what I've seen, it's as good as Canon's. Like you touch on someone's face and it slowly focuses on them. It looks excellent.
Exactly. Because that's where Canon's always won, is like Canon's still really fast, but Canon looks graceful.
Yeah.
And Sony was just fast.
Yeah.
But if you can actually make it look kind of graceful, hey, hell yeah, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, that's in there. Full HDMI
Yes.
port. That's
Thank God.
Huge. And it looks like they had to, I don't know if you can see here on the screen,
And
but
also in the box,
they had to like
includes
bolt
the
it on.
bracket.
You see here, they had to like bolt it on with these screws. It's so fucking unwieldy. Yeah. But hey, they did it.
Dude, I'm still fine with that though.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Honestly, hey, dude, I would gladly take leaving HDMI micro mini hell because they all suck. And even if you don't, like, they just did a lot of little things right, where it's like, cool, in the box is the bracket.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Hell yeah, like little stuff like that does matter. Honestly.
So they're not using that new sensor that they had. They're using a different type of sensor, sort of like their older sensor. They just kind of beefed it up. You are getting S-Log2, S-Log3, HLG, HDR profiles. You're not getting HDR PQ. You're not getting
Cinetone S, which
they say the
S-Log3.
They say the S-Log3 is close to grade to their cinema lines.
So
it looks like it too.
What they did is the S-Log3 basically is your replacement S-Cinetone, and the color science is the same, but it's just an S-Log.
Yeah.
That's good enough for me, honestly. It would have been really cool if they would have added just regular S-Cinetone, because the cool thing of S-Cinetone is it's finally a really good color picture profile from Sony.
Yeah.
That it's like a Turna or like Canon, not Canon flat, but like a couple of Canon profiles where if you just need a quick thing and you don't want to fuck around with log for a quick project, it looks good. I wish that you could have got that, but HLG looks way better.
Yeah, it's good.
It looks like HLG honestly looks more like S-Cinetone, so it's fine.
Yeah. You can record internally 4K up to 120p 10-bit 422. A huge upgrade benefit. 12 megapixel sensor, so it's a 1-to-1 readout, and it's also they're doing like 4 different codecs. So they have an H.265 codec that compresses the shit out of it, so it's like the 10-bit 422 codec that everyone's having problems with, except for iPads, essentially decoding. So they have that, but they also gave you an all-eye intra 600 megabits per second 4K codec. If you just want to do
internal or external.
Yeah, if you just wanted to do like H.264 codec, which is very easy on the PC, it's just a lot of data.
It's a larger file size.
Yeah. So they give you that, which is excellent. Hopefully, Canon can figure something like that out. I don't know if they can.
That would be really cool to see on the R6, R5, because like that is it's honestly a big selling point.
You can edit it on your PC.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a big deal.
I could choose, hey, am I running and gunning? Cool, I'll do 265. I'll put it on my iPad. We're good to go.
Yeah.
Or if I'm working on an actual project, hey, I don't have to buy a new fucking computer.
Yeah. So good to see that, and then I believe there were. Those are the 4 codecs. That is a real worry
for me, honestly, with Canon at the moment.
Oh, 100%. That's a huge
Canon,
deal.
like the R5 footage looks amazing, but it's also like, hey, guess what? You got to wait 4 months till an Apple Silicon Mac comes out, and that's the only thing you can fucking use.
Well, you just have to transcode it, which is adding hours to your workflow. You know, basically however you shoot, add another 2 times on it, and then you can use it.
That, or it's the same thing with the R6 issue of you just have to use a Ninja and get ProRes at least, and then you're good.
Yeah. They also have 4 card slots. There's 4 card slots.
No, it's 2.
It's 4 card slots. You get 2 CFast Type A's, which is a new card slot, and then 2 SD cards
at the same time.
I don't believe so.
No,
I don't know though. I don't know. Can you use 4?
No, you can only use 2.
Oh, okay.
They're the same slot.
Oh, right.
It's 2 slots, and it's the same slot, but what they did is the main slot is bigger SD card size, and then they have this newer CFast proprietary size A, which is even smaller, like a mini SD card that fits inside that, basically.
Yeah, so you basically can still use SD cards, which is big.
Which is awesome.
Big against
You have to use good
Canon.
SD cards, but good SD cards are still miles cheaper and more readily available and easy to use.
Honestly, I think people should be getting at least one of these Type C cards or Type A cards.
Yes.
and then just back up to the
if
SD.
you do the 4K 120 the S and Q profile in body that they slow the footage down for you.
Yeah.
That you do need the CFast card for.
Okay, that makes sense.
But that's the only thing. Everything else you can run regular SD cards on if you want. And the magic thing, why I think it's more viable here than Canon CFast is Gordon figured out, because a lot of people were thinking like
Gordon
Gerald
from Camera
Undone.
Labs here.
Yeah. He figured out that, hey, no, if you have a CFast in the first slot and then a regular SD in the second slot, you can actually set it up to main record high quality footage to slot 1 and still record backup footage to your SD card.
Yeah, it's
at
fucking
like
awesome.
a lower quality. That's awesome.
It's fucking awesome.
That's way fucking better than CFast or SD.
And also, according to Gerald Undone, you can do recordings to both external and internal. No worries about anything. It just does
and the
it.
touchscreen works. Canon.
Yeah, everything works. So
right now it does one on the R5.
Yeah. Here's all the here's all the codecs here, all the different types of recording modes. 16-bit raw output external, 422 10-bit external 4K all the way up to 60p, not 120p currently. I think that's actually an HDMI limit. I think there's nothing that can surpass that currently to go to the Atomos. They might need a new Atomos to support 4K, 10-bit,
I think
422,
that's going to be
120.
an Atomos issue. They're just going to have to design a new one.
Yeah.
At some point. Which, hey, honestly, I don't care.
No, I don't
like.
care.
I like.
Well, you would care if you were using an external recorder and you had to not use it, I guess, anytime you wanted to shoot 120, but it's not that big of a deal.
Well, no, I guess I don't. Well, no, if it's only, I don't care because it is only 120, and I'm only going to use 120 in specific moments. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to sit here and actually need to fill up 500 gigs of 120 footage.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, like, to me, that, like, it's an annoyance, yes, but as long as you get 4K, 24, 30, 60, we're golden. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The big things to me, all right, so that's pretty much it for the big headline specs. The big things to me, flip screen, articulating screen, USB-C power delivery. I love
awesome.
USB functionality. I want more cameras to implement
Yeah,
it.
same. Like, that's what I'm doing literally right now on my Fuji. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's so great.
It's hard to leave.
And
Especially,
the fact that there's
half
no
of these
overheating.
Cameras. Well, we'll see.
We'll see.
Because there have been 2 people who claim overheating issues.
Yeah.
Versus 30 who haven't. So I don't know if that's a pre-production issue or if there probably is some level of heat.
3. There's 3
here.
3 people I found.
3 people? Okay. Like there's still
Potato Jet's video. He was able to overheat it. Remember he threw it in that little oven thing?
Yeah, he was able to overheat it after an hour at like 84 degrees, which someone else complained that it only lasted 23 minutes, but then he showed at the same temperature it going for 43 minutes. And then he shoved it into an oven at 105 degrees and finally got it to overheat.
Yeah. But
So,
I do
like,
record in hot weather sometimes. So
same. No,
it
it
could be
is.
an
No,
issue.
yeah. It's like I don't want this thing to overheat. And that is it. It's probably going to overheat a little bit.
But
The
it's not
question
an
is it
issue.
better-
It's not an issue
Right.
like it used to be, and it's not an issue like it is with Canon. So to
Right.
me, it's
Like, that's
basically
the
not
thing,
a
is
non-issue.
Is it going to be a critical issue for me? This sounds like a safer bet than
For sure.
hey, record for 20 minutes and then you have to set it off for a half hour.
And I can almost guarantee there's probably no recording issues externally, which is a problem with Canon right now because there are overheating issues externally.
But true. That's the hard part on the R5 and the R6. That's what kills the R6 for me at the moment. And
Yeah, the R6
I
is
want the
bad.
R6. R6 should be the golden child. It should be the perfect option out of all 3 of these.
Yep.
But the other thing I would point out is if there really is no issue external recording, you just slap a Ninja on and you slap a power bank on, you can record for fucking 15 hours.
Yeah.
Because there's no record limits either.
Yep.
So like if you can manage those heat issues by doing that, like, hey, there you go, dude.
All right. So let me say
If it's
some
got
things.
a fixable heat issue, that's a lot better than
I trust
Canon
Sony.
currently is.
Sony's been dealing with it forever, and it's only gotten better. I can almost guarantee that this camera will be perfectly fine. You shouldn't have any issues overheating unless you are sometimes you hike or you go into hot weather climates, and sometimes you're in direct sunlight. It might overheat in those situations at the higher modes. So what this camera, in terms of what it offers for the price, if you are looking for a video camera that is either a B camera for a cinema camera or a YouTube camera or a social media camera, there's no other option to get. This is the camera to get.
Dude, I still kind of agree that you could make this a mini A cam.
Yeah, sure.
Like
sure.
you
I mean, it's not.
it's
What I'm saying is, it's not a cinema camera. You know.
No, I agree with that, but I think it's the closest thing we have. Boy, okay. This and the S1H are the only things I think actually compete with a small body cinema camera.
Yeah.
The Pocket 4K 6K does too, but I think these are better because the way I see this camera is this is a Blackmagic Pocket cinema camera with 4K.
And I mean, way more battery life.
Actual autofocus.
Autofocus, way more battery life.
Yeah, I'm buying one,
does the Blackmagic have IBIS?
Nah.
IBIS in there.
There is some level of IBIS, which that is another thing. On 4K, it doesn't look that great. Let's be real. It looks
it
bad,
it hasn't been improved as much as everything else.
Yeah, but there is a conspiracy brewing in my head, and I want to see people test that. I think if you're shooting 1080, it's cropping in on the sensor size to still try to do 1:1 1080.
Mm-hmm.
Because the tests I have seen from like Gordon and stuff like that, when you actually shoot 1080, IBIS on this thing looks great.
Yeah.
Like IBIS looks fantastic because it has all of that extra room.
Yeah.
So I really want to see, way better. I want to see like Gerald Undone or someone like actually try to figure that out, because I mean, for YouTube shit, if you 1080 is fine. You like 1080 is great, actually.
Any social
way
media
easier to work with, and if the quality is good, like there you go. And then you still have a workaround to actually have good IBIS.
Yeah. I'm gonna show his. I'm actually gonna show his.
You're gonna want a gimbal.
So this is this is Gordon. Gordon here, from Canon Labs.
I'm Gordon from Camera Labs, and this is
that's perfect.
Sony A7s Mark III, filming in 1080 at 24p. Now I'm filming this without any stabilization at all, so before I go any further, let's switch it
even
on.
without stabilization,
right,
it looks better because I think it's cropped in.
Steady shot. This is in its standard mode, and this is body based only because I'm filming this with the FE1.8, of course, here. However, there is an additional mode.
When it goes to active, it's like, oh yeah, 1080. This looks, the footage looks good, and the IBIS looks great.
Check it out. Okay, now I've switched steady shot.
Now look how much smoother this
is.
It's so much smoother.
Like at 1080, like it's beyond usable. It's pretty good, actually.
It's great, yeah.
Tell me how you think this looks. Again, this is 1080 at 24.
Now let's go to 4K.
Then when you go to 4K, it completely falls apart.
Enabled, and the audio is recorded with my Rode Wireless Go. Right, I think that's enough vlogging for this section.
It's completely different.
And even with the active, and I do think the active in most places looked pretty decent, and I still want to see more people testing this.
It looked okay. It's still compared to what Canon offered. Compared to what Canon offered, yeah, it's just not. It's not up to snuff, and that's a big deal for a lot of people that do a lot of like handheld run and gun stuff.
Sure.
So we're gonna see, once we see more tests, we're gonna see how much of a problem it becomes. Like, is this something that you really do need a gimbal for, or can you get away with it? Where Canon, you don't need a gimbal. You really don't need a gimbal with the Canon cameras. That's a big
You don't
plus.
with the Canon, you don't with Olympus, and you don't with Panasonic.
Yeah.
With Sony, you do, and with Fuji, you do.
Yeah.
In my opinion, even with IBIS and the Fuji, it's shit. And this doesn't look great at 4K. But if you can get away with the 1080p, I don't care then.
Yeah.
Because if I'm really doing that kind of vlogging style, I'm doing it at 1080p.
Sure.
I don't like YouTube's gonna compress it to kill it to death, or I can shoot most of the locked off shots in 4K and then just upscale to 1080. Like that's a who cares for me at that point. Personally, for that kind of specific application.
Now, in terms of like comparisons to Canon, I think, like I said, this is by far the only camera that I would recommend for video only. For video only, this is really the only thing that I could recommend. It has everything.
The dynamic range in this camera is actually really fucking good. And we didn't even touch on the fact that since it is 12 megapixels, the low light on this is fucking insane.
Yeah.
like straight up, like this is a great video camera. This is a perfect.
They basically
camera.
took the S2 and they made it the camera that everyone wanted. When the S2 came out, we were just like, man, if this had a flip screen, if this had the better,
this, I want this fucking camera, and I want RF lenses, and I want Canon glass.
I know.
Fuck you, Sony, because I don't want Sony glass, but I would. I'm 100% more in the camp of buying this than an R6 at the moment.
Now, I do want to say this happens every time with the Sony camera. I've been with Sony for many years now. When their new cameras come out, they're spec horrors. Everyone's like, oh my God, it's got all the specs. We got everything we need. It's the greatest camera we've ever seen. Until you really kind of compare it with usability with Canon or Fuji or Panasonic. So I don't want people to buy too much into the hype right now. We got to really wait for these tests that comes out, because the footage that I see from the 4K internal, it does look soft with S-Log. And it does seem as if the IBIS could be somewhat of an issue. So I really want to see, if you're going to spend that much money, is an R5 a better option, especially considering what type of work you're going to do. If you're going to do any sort of hybrid shooting, I think the R5 is still the better option. From what I see.
Yeah, I agree with you there. It really is down to what is your workflow and what are you trying to do with it.
Yeah.
If you're just worried about YouTube, you don't need this fucking camera. But if you want a banging YouTube camera, you don't need more than 12 megapixels for hybrid work, in my opinion.
I would disagree. I would disagree.
If you're doing stuff for social, I don't. You don't. I don't think so.
I would have to disagree there. I think you would definitely at least want a 24 megapixel camera. Like the R6 is probably the problem with the R6 is it overheats. There's no mode that 4K doesn't overheat. If it didn't overheat,
if it didn't, it would be the perfect. It would be the winner. I would buy one. I would have already bought one.
Canon, listen up. If the R6 didn't overheat in 4K 2430, like who cares if it overheats in 4K 60? If you just had 4K 24 and 30 not overheat, that would still be the camera that everyone's talking about. That would be the camera that everyone has pre-ordered. The reason why people canceled all their pre-orders on the R6 is because there's no mode in 4K that it doesn't overheat and it's unreliable. It's so close. You were so close.
And they didn't amp up the 1080 enough to the point that why would I buy it over an R?
Yeah. And they were so fucking close on it, man. They were so close.
They were, but I would still argue, I don't know, I'm definitely leaning more towards the Sony at this moment. Like I said, I'm not going to buy any of these till Christmas. Let's be real, because I'm not going to be able to. They're already sold out, basically.
Yeah, you won't get them until maybe 2021.
Yeah, no, and dude, that's what I'm planning on, because I'm like this. If you're going to spend this much money, I'd rather a bunch of other professionals go spend the money first and actually form here's a 6-month concrete opinion on it. You know what I mean? But the same side of it is, I know what you're saying with the Sony issues, because that has been an issue in the past, especially the A7 III. That was the camera of 4 months, and after that you saw no one using it except for people who bought the camera for the good reason that they wanted it for, you know what I mean? But I do think this solves a lot of those issues that had people leave in the first place.
Oh, it does. The flip screen being a huge factor.
No, flip screen's huge. You actually have a menu system that works.
Menu system.
You have more than enough of those features that were missing or plagued the previous ones that it's like, no, I'm fine with this. Like,
I think the big thing is really the 12. Like, if this is your one camera that you're doing photo and video work, I think the 12 megapixels is somewhat limiting. Like, if this was a 24 megapixel camera, I would buy 3 of them right now. Like with Gerald Undone. See, he seems to be fine with the 12 megapixels for photo. I've used the A7 II that had 12 megapixels. It is not a good photo camera. Anytime you're gonna crop, and you're gonna do a lot more cropping on photos. In photos than you would in video. Anytime you're going to start to crop, it really falls apart. You really start to see the strain of the image, you know?
That's okay. I see where you're going with that. If you're a heavy cropper. Yeah. For me, I'm usually not that heavy of a cropper, so that's why I don't care personally. And I do think 12 is good enough. But what I would be willing and more interested to see is there has been hubbub, and we'll see how true it is, of the sensor itself being a lot more improved.
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe those 12, like maybe he's thinking 12 is good enough just because this specific 12 is actually finally good enough.
Yeah, I'm curious to see that because his images did look pretty good.
I just know
from the A7 II,
400% even.
Yeah.
So like there is an argument where I understand his argument that 12 is more than enough, and if the sensor quality is good enough, 12 is enough in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm very
Especially
curious
if it's just
to see
on
that.
phone and tablets and computers. Yeah.
Yeah, and actually, I don't. In terms of like the photo specs, what are they? Like, I don't even know how many like. You get 10 frames.
It takes pictures.
10 frames per second. 10 frames per second. It's 10 frames per second.
Like,
all right.
This is why I'm really excited about this camera, is because I'm probably not going to sell my Fuji, which I'm going to go out on a limb here and say is, if you actually care about photos, buy Fuji. This is the perfect, actual good photo camera. Fuck you, Canon. Fuck you, Nikon. Y'all suck. Fuji for life.
No one buys crop fucking photo cameras. It's all full frame nowadays, man.
Dude, no, that's because you haven't had the beauty that is Fuji. There's nothing better than actually having, like, as dumb as it is.
I do want a Fuji.
It's like.
I just don't want the Fujis that they're offering now. It's not even so
much that the quality is so good. It's just like the joy of actually taking a picture.
Oh
with it is
yeah.
Supreme. But it's
for sure.
It's really just how good they do at their film emulations, where I don't feel like I need to take RAW all the time.
Yeah,
I don't give a shit about shooting RAW because I can flip through 2 or 3 film simulations. That here's a fantastic JPEG.
Yeah,
and cool. I'm done. You know what I mean? But I'm not a huge photographer.
All right, so
what I was gonna say though, dude, this is what I've been bitching about wanting for the last 3 months that I really wanted Canon to do. It's an autofocus Blackmagic. It has a really good dynamic range.
Yeah.
It's getting close to cinema quality. It's not a cine cam. I wouldn't compare. Gerald and Dunn was comparing it to a C300.
I think he's insane. I think he's insane to compare those, but hey, I see his point.
Did you download the RAW files?
No, I haven't.
Philip Bloom. Download the RAW files from Philip Bloom, because I agree. I don't think it's the C300 or a C500 there. But like putting that up to RAW files from like a C200 Mark II or like a regular FS5, I see what he's talking about.
Yeah, I'll have to take a look. See, that's funny because what I seen on YouTube, I haven't been too impressed. I would say the best footage I've seen was from iJustine. Like her video, I don't know if they uploaded like the codecs correctly. It looks far better than anyone else's videos. Far better.
I think Potato did pretty good, but
and his videos was good. His videos was good too.
I do think too that, and this is something where I said wait 6 months because I'm going to do the same thing with Canon. Because a lot of them too have been having this issue that I've noticed is they're just using whatever LUT was supplied by Sony or Canon, and a lot of them look like shit.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on there, but I saw iJustine's video. I was like, wow, this looks like a different camera. This shit looks. I mean, I guess I could put her video up. So yeah, in terms of video, I want to say like Canon really fucked up their PR.
I don't want to love this camera, but I do.
You're gonna be a Sony guy, I know it. If you need a video cam, what other camera are you gonna get?
I mean, I wanted it to be the R6 because I like.
It can't be the R6.
EF class right now. I want to just be able to use EF.
I know.
Or I'm actually sorry, I lied. I'm not using EF. I'm using FD, dude.
I know.
I do really like Canon glass. That's why I want to go back to Canon. But
that's another thing too. Like the RF glass is badass. It's so good.
Fuck, dude. This is such a perfect camera.
Look at this footage from iJustine. Like her footage looks immaculate. It looks so much better than anyone else. Potato Jet's footage looked great too, but her footage by far looks the best. Which I was surprised because I was gonna write this video off until I just was watching them all, and then I was like, oh my god, like look at the grade on this one where she's in her pink shirt. That looks fucking beautiful. Look at that.
No, it looks excellent. It looks fantastic.
That looks so fucking good.
On top of it, it's partially the grading, but it's like going back. That's why I did like the Potato Jet.
But it's the sharpness too. Like her videos look sharper. They look like they have better dynamic range. Like I don't know. Maybe she had a professional do it.
It might be that, but I'm also, and this is something that like I want to see more reviews and I want to see like live streams about it. I guess is like I am wondering too how many of the actual old school reviewers just went the Philip Bloom route and completely turned off all sharpening, and then I just deemed that they leave the sharpening on.
I don't know. That's a good point. That is a good point.
Is that is something I'm wondering.
But
too,
I usually turn the sharpening off.
That at all?
I usually turn it off. I mean, her footage doesn't look artificially sharpened. Like, it doesn't look like they added sharpness.
No, it doesn't. But I'm honestly assuming most people did just turn the sharpening off because that's what you do with Sony. So
here, let me just show you a comparison.
Just turned it off is possibly. I don't know. You know.
I'll show you the one from Gerald Undun's video. You said that was by Make Art Now. His video clips.
The ibis shots were from Gerald, but the rest of the footage was Make Art Now.
So let's look at this
or you
footage.
Can just look up Make Art Now.
Oh yeah.
Because that footage it looked fine.
Oh, it looks like he doesn't have it.
The grade, I hate the grade on it, dude. I fucking hate the grade on it.
Well, all right, I'll show you example. Look at this footage here, and then look at the footage from iJustine. Like, to me, it looks like maybe it's an S-Log thing, because S-Log's always been soft, but it looks really soft, almost 1080. So this is the 10-bit S-Log 3 grade. That's 4K with only standard LUT applied. And then now look at her footage, right? I mean, it's night and day. Like, I like this footage the best.
Yet. Okay.
And then her footage here, it's so much sharper. It's so much more detailed. There's more dynamic range everywhere. Even her like 240 1080 looks better. I don't know. It looks like maybe she had like a professional kind of put this together for her.
It could be that, but what I'm also semi-curious about too, and this has been going through it, is I wonder if they just slapped an Animos on it and got it to work. Because I'm telling you,
on her video, on their video,
on hers, on hers, that might be something with it too. Though even Philip Bloom's was still soft, but that's Philip Bloom. He loves his shit super soft.
Yeah, he usually uses like, I mean, look at this footage. This looks so bad in my opinion. Like, this is one of the worst footage that I've seen. This is an extreme example, but when I saw this, I was like, this doesn't look 4K.
Yeah, no, same. Like that was because of course Gerald's was the first one I watched too.
Yeah.
I still haven't even seen the Sony release of it. I just watched.
I watched some of it. It's kind of just commercial, you know.
Oh, I'm sure, dude. But they let everyone. And by the way, thank you, Sony. Also, because of today, I have now seen more Canon fucking EOS R5 footage than I've seen so far. Yeah. Literally just because of Sony reviews.
Again, Canon. You need to fire your PR. Your PR needs to be removed completely.
This is the level we're at right now. Is I'm learning everything about EOS R5 footage from Sony reviews.
It's fucking insane. Yeah, this has been crazy, man. Like the Canon releases and then the Sony releases. It's been so fucking fun.
I hate to say that, but I'm buying this camera.
Yeah,
and probably okay. That's where I'm leaning towards now. We'll see in 6 months when
there's gonna. I'm telling you, there's gonna be nothing to pull you away from this camera.
I know. There's not going to be. It's just gonna be the glass.
This is the Sony crux. This is what Sony does. They have basically everything that you need in the camera. It's not perfect. You know what I mean? Like it's not the highest quality. It's not the sharpest 4K. It doesn't have the best dynamic range, but it does give you everything you need. And now they fixed up a lot of the issues that you had with the body, like the flip screen. It's got a deeper grip on it. It has the top trigger now. The menu system's fixed.
Yeah, I forgot to say that too. The bigger grip. Hell yes.
Yeah. And the trigger, because usually it was like a side button that you had to press, but now it's just a regular button.
But the grip's actually bigger, because that was my problem with the A7 3s. I fucking hated that body. Yeah, because the grip was too small and felt awkward to me personally.
It was just too gimpy. It was too tiny.
Yeah,
but
so
they gave it a deeper grip.
Yes, please, dude. Hell yeah.
Yeah, they did. I mean, they really released the perfect video camera.
Yeah, that's what I am in the market for, because I'm not going to sell my Fuji, so I already have the perfect photo camera. I need the perfect video camera to go with it.
Yeah, there's no reason for anyone to buy another video camera unless, I don't know, because we know Canon doesn't have a offering right now that doesn't overheat.
Unless we get the eventual hopeful EOS R Mark II that is just 2430, because that's all you need, and it doesn't overheat. That would be enough to sway me away, honestly, because I don't need 4K 60 or 4K 120.
Sure.
Like I like. If this was
I don't think they're going to do that.
Honestly, I'm half tempted to wait till the A7 IV, which will be this without the 4K 120 and 60, and that's perfect for me, because I'm fine doing 1080, 120, and if you can do 240, that's pretty awesome. Let's be real. But I don't that's not the features that is like, hey, this is a really awesome camera. It's really nice, but it's the total package that Sony's actually finally offering.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. And that
3,500. There's the price.
Honestly, at this point, dude, I'll spend an extra $1,000 if it gets me a full-size HDMI port.
I know, full-size HDMI. They released the perfect video camera, and I'm so pumped. I'm probably gonna end up getting it. It's usually how it's gonna go. I'm upset because I can't sell my Sony gear now. I was gonna sell all my Sony gear and go to Canon, and now it looks like I'm gonna still keep both fucking ecosystems, which is so annoying. So I have the R5 pre-ordered, and I'm gonna be playing that for I guess until the A7 III, until I can get one, A7s3. So I'm very curious to see how bad the overheating stuff affects me personally.
It's on both of them. Both of them, honestly.
What, on the overheating?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, because that, and I
yes,
get
we like
why
cameras.
it's an issue, but like, it is.
Yeah.
It's like we're trying to do too much, but it's one of those things is, hey, if the 7S3 overheats in 120, damn, but if they both overheat in just 24, fuck, dude.
Yeah. And it looks like, so with Canon, you get 30 minutes.
24, dude. That's all I want.
And with Canon, you get about like a half an hour in their oversampled mode, and it doesn't overheat in the regular 4K mode. But I need to see, no one has updated. This is another thing that I wanted to fucking go nuts about. I released a video on the channel the other day. No one has released actual 4K non-HQ footage from the Canon R5. Canon, what are you guys doing? Like, their PR is such a fucking failure. Yeah. Because then it's like, then it's like, oh wait, well, here's just the normal 4K out of the camera. How does it compare against the normal 4K out of the Sony? We know that it overheats in the gimmicky modes. Who cares about the 8K? We know it's going to overheat in that. We know it's going to overheat in 4K 120. Let's just see if it can just do 4K 24 normally. And what's the quality like? And we don't have any footage to decide on that. So when I get the cameras, then I'm going to be doing all that testing and do all the external stuff. And then when the A7 III actually releases, I'll probably have to get one. And who knows if the R5 will stick around. I'm always going to keep the R just because I like it.
Yeah, the R is still great. And that's what pisses me off is the R6 should be the golden camera. Yeah. And instead it's looking like the golden camera is actually just a fucking still the R with a speed booster.
Yeah, the R is just, it's been the dark horse ever since it got released, and it's surprising how this is the only camera that I plan on keeping. The fucking EOS R. But it's a great, look at this quality. That's some good quality, man. That's fucking an HDMI.
I would do the same thing, because on my side it looks good, but hey, dude, welcome to the internet.
I'm so happy.
Welcome to compression.
I'm so happy Sony released this camera.
Honestly, same.
This is awesome.
At the same time, I'm still pissed about it. And I wish it was a little bit cheaper.
You're going to be a Sony guy, I'm telling you.
I know I don't want to be. But hey, hey, the colors actually look way fucking better. So I could live with that. That was another thing of going in where it's like, I think people will be more willing to stay with this camera because a lot of those little things they did improve. The colors look way fucking better than 2 years ago, 3 years ago. Mm-hmm. Even the A6600, 6600, whatever, the A66, the 64.
I think it was the 63 they updated their colors and it got pretty good.
Compared to that, and then they updated them again for the 64, 66, and 61, and those improved like a little bit, but those look like fucking trash compared to this one, which is, hey, hell yeah, that's good improvement, you know what I mean? I still don't think it's Canon Fuji levels, but it's actually in the same ballpark. It's in the same world now. And some of it looks really great. That's a huge thing.
This would be the greatest selling camera ever. This would be the only camera anyone ever needed if it was 24 megapixels. That's the only thing that I wish it was.
Just wait.
And if it had better IBIS. The IBIS is pretty bad.
True. I wish it did have better IBIS, but wait about 8 months and you'll have an A7.
I know.
Or an A7 IV, which is exactly that for $2,000.
That's a huge point.
Might honestly be what I do, but
it'll be after you buy this camera.
What I'm worried about and why I might buy this at Christmas anyways is they're probably going to do that with the A7 IVs. It's probably going to be a very similar camera to this, but a 24 megapixel shooter or something like that. But they're going to gut the full size HDMI and I'm gonna go buy the A7 III anyway.
They won't do that.
I think they will.
They never go backwards. I promise you, they'll never go backwards.
For the regular, I think they might, just because the regular is going to be a smaller body.
I don't think they even go by. I don't even think they do that. It's going to be the same body. I think this is their new body now. And I think what's going to happen is you're going to buy this, and then that camera's going to come out. That's what happens with Sony. I've been there, dude. Every camera you buy from Sony, they release another one immediately after, and it's better, in just like a slight way.
Well,
it's annoying.
If there's a camera though that you'll be okay with that happening, this does seem like a pretty good.
Well, that was like this.
You could still just slap a Ninja on it and be like, "Hey, I got 12-bit fucking 4K 422 footage anyway." So
that was the thing with the A7s2. When I got it, I was like, "Oh my god, this has been the camera I've been waiting for a long, long time." And then when the A7 III dropped, I was like, "I don't even really need it." You know what I mean? I don't even really need to upgrade to it. The A7 II has been great. S2. And now that this one has been released, I think this is going to be the same for a lot of online creators. This is the camera that most people have been crying about in the Canon comments. This is Sony did
honestly,
it.
Yeah,
Sony did it.
Like
they have every right to
I will say
celebrate.
the other flip side is, even though I really want RF glass and I really want EF, because EF is always just the safest bet ever. It's never going to go away. It's never going to die. To like heavily invest into a system.
I would say the same for E-mount though.
I think E-mount's a pretty safe bet, but the thing I like about EF is you're never, just because it's EF, you're never locked into Canon. Right. Just because you have EF glass, everything
right. E-mount, you're locked into Sony.
Yeah, E-mount, you're stuck with Sony. It's the smallest flange. You will never be able to adapt it to anything.
Yeah.
So at that point you're all in on Sony.
That's true.
With EF, it's 42 fucking millimeters, so it's gonna be alive as long as PL mount is, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
Canon was so close, dude.
Even
with the R6,
even there though, because E-mount's been around long enough, I've really started looking into it again. Yeah, dude, I can buy a 24 to 70 f4 image stabilized at really good lens. Yeah, I found one in a like new condition for $560.
Yeah.
Let's see, the FE24105, the really, really good power zooms under $1,000 used like new condition.
Yeah.
There's that 28 to 200, 2.8 to 5.6 Tamron Goat lens of an all-in-one.
Yeah.
For 800 new. So like that is something that is, I don't feel as bad if I buy into Sony at the moment, just because I know there's at least 3 to 4 really good options of either cheap, or I can just go G Master and just buy a lens and be set. Honestly.
Yeah, and the funny thing is with Sony that you got to keep in mind too is, for the most part, their value doesn't hold up as well as Canon. So
which
if you plan on like selling things,
with.
Yeah.
I mean, that is a con. I agree, but that is also a benefit too, because then you can buy like, shit, dude. That's a $2,000 lens I can buy in like new condition for $600.
Yep.
Like, I don't care if I only sell it for $300.
The G Masters seem to hold their quality.
I bought it for a quarter of the price anyway.
The G Masters seem to hold their quality. It's like
True.
the Sigmas, the Tamrons, and the non G Master
Sony
lenses.
Even the G Master power zooms, under $1,000, and it's normally, if I buy it new with a student discount from B&H, it's still $2,200.
Yeah, it's a pretty good deal. You're gonna be a Sony fanboy, dude. I see it already.
Yeah, fuck you.
I see it.
It's really tempting, and honestly, well, wait. Okay, so this is something I didn't see entirely, and this does actually really matter if I go this route. And I haven't seen people talk about, and I don't think it's there, and that does worry me. Do they still have Super 35 mode?
Mm-hmm.
You still have Super 35 mode?
Mm-hmm.
You can still crop in, you can still punch in on everything?
Clear zoom, it's called. Yep.
What is it called?
Clear zoom.
Clear zoom, and It is on all of that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't remember who tested it.
That means you can buy the Fujinon MK 18 to 55.
Oh yeah, they have a Super 35 mode for sure.
And then you can use your $3,000 beautiful cine lens from my glorious Fuji overlords.
That don't make their own mount in a Fuji lens.
They do.
Oh, they do? I thought they didn't.
They make this in an X mount.
Oh, I thought
It's
they did.
just I wouldn't buy it for X mount because also for some reason the Sony E mount is $3,000 and you can adapt it to X mount for like $50. But if you want the native X mount,
Oh, right.
glass,
You said that. Yeah.
it costs $4,000.
Yeah.
Why? I don't know. Why? Like,
Dude, Sony knocked it out of the park.
The flange difference is like literally 0.7 millimeters.
And that's
like,
not. Yeah, that's not even. Yeah, that's. It's so dumb. So Sony knocked it out of the park. It's just there's no way, no other way to put it. This camera is going to be hot tamales, dude. Hot tamales. Have fun trying to get it if you don't pre-order it.
Shit. Even if you want to go buy new, you can buy a Sigma Art 2.8 24-70 for $1,000, and you're done.
Yeah.
Buy that in a 70 to a cheap.
I think Sony has a
200.
I think Sony has a 24-70. That's pretty cheap too. It's not a G
They
Master.
do, but
pretty good.
it's noticeably more. I think theirs
Oh,
is
yeah?
like 2,000 and Sigma's is 1,000.
Oh yeah.
So it depends on how much is in.
I broke my fucking G Master 24-70. I'm so mad. I have to go fix it.
So like, okay, the used 24-70 2.8 is $1,539 at the cheapest that I found here, or $1,000 brand new.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
For Sigma Art, so the quality's there.
Yeah.
And the Sigma Art, you can also make parfocal and then rip off the rubber coating and 3D print gears and actually make it a cine lens.
Oh my god. You could just buy those gears though, can't you?
Oh yeah, yeah.
I wouldn't
You can
rip
buy those-
off the
you can
rubber.
buy the gears for like $20, and then you just take out a screwdriver and make it parfocal. And there's $1,000 24-70 Sigmas, like,
So these tough cards for 160 gigs is $400. Damn. God
Yeah.
damn. That is
No,
pricey.
they are expensive. Well, what I was,
Wait, that's pricier than the CFast Express.
It is because that's all there is for it right now.
Wow. I didn't know they were that
It
much
definitely
money.
is pricier, but I would argue you need it less. You actually don't even need it.
Oh, right. Yeah, you really
But
don't.
what I was
I
what
didn't know
was
they were
looking
that much
through,
money,
and this is why I'm also back to kind of leaning. I sent you a link earlier. You can buy an A7s3 brand new with a 160 gig card to just cover your 4K 120. You can buy that Tamron 28 to 200 or the Sigma I was just talking about for an extra $150, and a Ninja 5 full kit with the Sony, not the Songbird, 500 gigabyte drive for the same price as you can buy an R5 with the 24-70 f4.
Yeah.
That's a free Ninja. Just because there isn't enough.
You're a Sony
solid-
fanboy
there's-
already, dude.
There isn't enough solid RF cheap good glass yet.
No, there's not.
Which
There's
that's
not.
the issue with the R5.
Yeah, you have to adapt. If you want cheap lenses, you just go EF. You'd have to
Yeah,
adapt.
which there you can do, and there's definitely ways I could match that. But like I just, damn,
You're doing the Sony fanboy. This is
I'm not even
awesome.
a Sony fanboy because I'm pissed because I bought Fuji to not buy Sony.
I know, that's why it's
I literally bought
awesome.
into Fuji to not buy into Sony, and now I'm sitting here 2 years later like
I know, man.
I should have
that's
just
how
bought an
Sony does.
A6400.
Yeah.
What
But
am I
this is
doing?
what's gonna happen. I'm telling you, I've seen this happen. Someone in the chat clipped this.
No, but at the same time, I'm actually super happy I didn't buy an A6400 because even though I might still as a third camera, I would gain a flippy screen, which would be niuld
You'd
but
also have everything already.
but-
You already
but-
have the lenses. I mean, that's what's nice about Sony.
Right.
You buy one lens
Well,
mount.
I would already be invested into the glass.
Yeah.
That's the difference. That would have been nice. Everything else though is way nicer on Fuji, and
Oh yeah.
I wish this was the Fuji S7 III.
That would have been real nice actually. I wish that would have been really cool too.
But fuck, dude. This is just it's a Blackmagic Pocket City Cam with autofocus.
They released a camera you can't refuse. The Canon R5 is the only camera that competes in its class because it's got a downsample. The Canon R5, the footage is better. The footage, the highest quality is better. It's just limited by heat, and it's a better photo camera.
Editability.
And what?
Editability.
Yeah, that as well. And it's a better photo camera, just in all respects. You can shoot sports with it.
It's a 100% better photo camera.
So it's really like to me in this position, it's so tough to choose between the two. That this is what happened when I had the Sony and then I bought the EOS R. I was in the same fucking position where I was like, I can sacrifice this, but now for photos I can't do this. I ended up just having both. It looks like they wanted me to just upgrade to both again. And that's probably what's going to end up happening because I'm going to get the EOS R5. I'm probably going to love it, but then I'm still going to want an A7S3 for unlimited recording times when we're streaming for 3 hours, you know what I mean? And I want the highest quality. Like, that really does make a difference. And hopefully the Canon doesn't overheat in those modes. Hopefully it looks good external. I can run it external for a couple hours and it's fine. But that remains to be seen. And because Canon's PR is so bad, we don't have that information. They could have had locked in so many more pre-orders if they would have just let people use the fucking cameras like Sony did. Sony did it 2 months in advance, which is nuts. This camera doesn't release until the end of September. And they were just like, well, let's get Canon release their stuff, get it to all the YouTubers, every single one of them, let them play around with it as much as they want.
Sony went with the route of, if you actually start looking through all of them too, you can actually see the numbers marked on them, and you start realizing, no, Sony actually just sent out about 1,500 of these to people.
Yeah, everyone got them, dude. Everyone got them. Marquez got one, and he was not even really a camera shooter. He got one just to film his video, and just before he was like, yeah, I shot it for this video. It's like Sony just gave all their cameras out. They said, do whatever you want with the footage. You can grade it as terribly as you want, or you could grade it as beautifully as you want. We don't care. Just make sure you tell people that, you used it. And that works so much. I don't, because Canon is kind of stuck in like that Nintendo marketing sort of thing where it's like, they have to control every aspect of the marketing or else there's brand integrity gets ruined. It's just like that old way of marketing is so dumb. It doesn't work anymore. You know what I mean?
No, it doesn't. And
it's so stupid.
It doesn't because there's real competition here, which is awesome. And we haven't even touched on the fact that, hey, the Panasonic S1H just got an update to also do 4K 60 RAW.
Yeah, they did it through firmware. That's nuts. That's really impressive. Like, what else can they do through firmware? You could just add raw capability.
Because that was my thing with. I still kind of want an X-T4 if I'm being honest, because it still is a really good camera. I think in a year, because Fuji does really good with firmware. They've like this camera now versus when I originally bought it for autofocus. This is a completely different camera.
Yeah.
So like, there's a lot they can do, and they've talked about adding RAW for a long time, and they finally did.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome that they did that. And the S1H is no joke.
$3,500 really awesome cinema camera.
Yeah, the S1H is no joke.
Netflix approved, and it shoots 6K. You get 6K RAW 60.
Yeah. Yeah, there's so much awesome. I think Sony really knocked it out of the park with this camera.
They did.
It really,
I hate to admit that they did, and I thought Canon did too until
I know.
Gotten more. This is probably going to happen too. In a month, I'm going to be off the
Sony
A7S3. That also is a fucking terrible naming scheme. I still hate it. The new Sony. I'll probably be over the new Sony in a month once we actually learn all of its flaws too. You know what I mean? Because that's how I felt about the Canon. Was like when Canon announced R5 and R6. R6 seemed amazing. I still want it to be. It still has the potential, if it didn't overheat, of like, slap a Ninja on it, and there you go. You're fucking golden.
Yeah.
And the fact that it overheats, even doing that it's
just like
painful
fuck.
When you realize, okay, so I have to spend $2,500 and I have to spend $700 on a Ninja,
and then a lens.
Then I have to spend $300 on a lens. Oh wait, I'm already at the price of a Sony A7S3.
Right. Yep.
So I don't know. I just buy the A7S3 when I don't have to buy the Ninja.
Yeah. Yeah, and you know what? To be honest, it sucks for you even more because you aren't in either system. So you're starting fresh, even if you go Canon or if you go Sony. So I'm actually really curious, like where you do end up, because you are due for an upgrade on your camera.
No,
You
I
don't
just
think so?
want to.
Okay.
No, like that's where I'm getting back to is like my camera is still kind of great. I just wish it had better autofocus. And realistically, I have no reason to actually need to upgrade this camera.
Yeah.
It's just, but the A7S3 though, and R5 though.
Yeah. And the R6, like we don't have anything to really go by
Honestly,
on the R6.
Based off of just pure camera alone, no, I have absolutely zero need to upgrade this camera. I can slap on a Ninja. I've already had
You basically just need a gimbal.
Yeah, I've already had 10-bit 422 on my camera for 2 years now.
You just don't have full frame and you don't have IBIS. So you just need a gimbal and then maybe a speed booster. I don't know if they have a speed booster for Fuji, but
I don't even necessarily need the speed booster because I'm fine with the crop for the most part.
Yeah.
The biggest reason why I want to upgrade is Fuji glass.
Yeah, I hear you.
And like,
and you do want a better autofocus. I mean, I think it'd be nice for an upgrade.
It's just now where I'm for a one-man crew. This is totally doable when you're behind camera. I more just want.
You want the one-man show.
It's honestly, I'm just getting to the point where I'm getting comfortable enough with video again that I want more cameras. Because I'm at the point where it's like, okay, I just want a B cam anyway. So why don't I just buy an A cam?
Right. Oh, yeah, that's usually how I go. That's usually what I do.
Like, it's not so much that I need to upgrade this. This totally works as my A cam 100%. But
you can go for a better A cam.
But I could just buy an A cam instead of
that's usually what I do.
Cam.
That's usually what I do. Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, even I have a C cam.
Especially,
I even have a fucking C cam now.
Yeah.
Because I'm just like, might as well just keep it, you know.
Yeah. So it's just at that point where it's like, if I'm gonna buy a new camera, which I kind of want to, like, well, that was the thing. That's why I really wanted the R6 to be really good too. Is the fun thing about the R6 is, and especially if Canon has rumors that are true of EF-M mount to RF mount actually being good, or I could just do EF. I mean, shit, dude, you can buy like an M3 for like $200 right now.
Yeah.
As a B cam.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, there's so many cheap, decent 1080p Canon cameras that they're a dime a dozen. You know what I mean? Where we
still have that
M50,
that new M50 that should be coming out. I mean, Canon rumors just stated like we should be getting like 4 new cameras soon. Canon still has some stuff up their sleeve.
Oh, definitely.
It's just such a great time if you're looking for a camera. They've never been better. There's so many clear answers. If you want the best hybrid, you have the R5. If you want the best video, you have the A7S3. You never have to
I'm at the point where
sacrifice anything anymore. You know what I mean?
Like that's where I'm at.
And if you want the best video, you're really not sacrificing with the A7S3. You're not sacrificing a flip screen like you used to. You're not sacrificing IBIS like you used to. You're not sacrificing what are some other a crop on the 4K like you used to? It's got it all. And on the Canon R5, the same thing, except it's a hybrid. You know, you got the hybrid.
I can still pair it with this. Well, I wouldn't say pair it. That's maybe the wrong wording. But anything that I bought for my current camera, the Fuji, I can still use with that. Because another big seller for me of Sony currently is, hey, you can run USB-C power. Cool, that's what I do right now. I have my fucking camera attached to a battery bank. It's on on my cage, just on the side. I used one of the quarter threads or eighth threads, whatever, I forget at the moment, stuck a cold shoe on it basically and just mounted a fucking cheap ass battery bank to it.
Yeah, I've never been able to do that. I'm so jealous. I want a camera that does that.
No, it's amazing, dude. It revolutionizes your camera just because all of these cameras' battery life sucks.
Yeah.
So that's huge. So cool. I could just port that over, you know what I mean, and keep going. So that's nice. That's tempting. I do the thing I have noticed though, and especially Potato Jet pointed this out. The biggest issue currently that the Sony A7S3 has for me is if I want to buy it as an A cam, it does seem like at the moment, and this will hopefully change next year or the year after by the time I'd want to be a Sony B cam. But matching the 7S3 to the A64 or the 66 doesn't look fun.
No, it's not. It's almost impossible.
Like,
I do
yeah,
it with the A7R3 and the A6000. It's impossible.
Yeah, like like looking at using Sony as a B cam, that's something that is a pro of Canon is.
They all match up.
If you buy a $200 M3, it's gonna look pretty close to the R.
Yeah, and if you buy the R, it looks close to the C200. You buy the C200, it looks close to the C500.
And then this is like, well, no, this is the B cam to an FX9.
Yeah.
And that's it right now. So, by next year, maybe I can get a A7 IV as a B cam. You know what I mean? But like that, the dream really is, hey, dude, I just want to be able to match a 6100 or a 6400 to it and be done. And that does look harder. So that's why I'm fine that I didn't buy the A6400.
It's awesome, dude. It's awesome. This shit has been so fucking awesome.
It's what I want.
And there's going to be more videos, and there's going to be more fun stuff. And
then now we got to wait for people to start showing us S1H footage again at 6K raw 12-bit, and then get jealous of that.
Yeah, this is the best time. I can't wait for my R5 to get here too. I really want to play with that camera because I know when I release my review, it'll jumpstart my camera career, and then I'll be like Jordan from DP Review and get all my cameras for free, and I'll be like Gordon here, Gordon from Camera Labs here. Won't you buy me a coffee?
Yeah.
I'm coming for your spot, Gerald Undone. You haven't seen my color grading, Mr. Purple background.
Dude, honestly, I'm probably just gonna start putting more footage on the channel too, anyway, just for fun.
Yeah, dude, for sure.
Then we can both get shitty Sony cameras.
I want them all, dude. I want Brandon's position where he gets fucking 12.
Oh, no, dude. Yeah, dude, just
12K cameras,
dude. Why not?
Imagine having Linus as your boss. And you could just be like, "Hey, Linus, this camera, I need 6 of them."
Magic, dude. I'm a big fan of them. Can we get 12?
I need fucking 6 12K cameras. Stat. And then Linus is like, "Okay, I know nothing about cameras, but I trust your opinion, so." Take my credit card.
The 12K is more than the red 8K, right? So it's got to be good.
Exactly. Exactly. Here's my credit card. Buy 6. What on earth?
They probably look gonna be amazing, But,
for sure.
But yeah.
For sure. And I love how he was playing with the Sony A7S3 like he's ever gonna use it when he's got a Sony Venice. He's got a 12K.
No, he's entirely going to use it. The Venice he had to send back. That was to make a video on it. They didn't let him keep it. No. That was just Sony sending him to it. That was the reviewer's kit, basically.
He could get one. If he wanted to, he could get one for sure, I think.
I think he could convince Linus to get one. And this is why I think Brandon is excited for the A7S3 that's going to be the camera Brandon buys for Brandon use. You know what I mean?
I know he's been a Fuji guy, I think. From what I was just been following on his Instagram, he was shooting Fuji for a while. I mean, look at Potato Jet's footage. Potato Jet's footage does look good.
Dude. Potato Jet's footage looks fucking amazing with it.
Yeah.
Like, the color science on it's so much fucking
Tony's
better.
footage looked terrible. Make Art Now video looked like it looked really bad. I don't know what was going on. And then DP Review's footage looked bad.
Yeah.
Like, really bad.
And that's what turned me on to the fact that they're all using a shitty LUT that Sony supplied.
Like, what is this, dude? What is this fucking LUT that they used? Or is this Jordan's grading?
4 of them all just started with this really shitty fake Fujifilm bleach bypass look that looks terrible. And all of them got sent this LUT, and they all had to show it once as part of getting the fucking camera or something, and it looks awful.
It looks really
It's in all
bad.
of them.
Why would you ever use this?
5-second clip, this shitty ass LUT is in every single one of these fucking videos.
Yeah, then that's what kind of gives me pause. I need to see more footage. Because, all right, so let me put it this way. Like, the 4K quality, from what I'm seeing currently, it doesn't look much better from when I used the A7S2. Like it looks a little bit better in the color detail. It looks a little bit better in the dynamic range. But in terms of like the sharpness,
it looks a lot better in the dynamic range.
Yeah, but in terms of the sharpness, I mean, it's not really
dude, go to
different.
Go to Vimeo. Stop using YouTube. Go to Vimeo,
I guess that's what I need to
and go look up Philip Bloom.
But I don't watch videos in Vimeo.
Then download the file so you don't see the YouTube compression.
All right, fine.
Because honestly, if we're looking at you, like that is the downside of all of these, and that's why you don't need any of these. Is once you get to YouTube, like once you,
I think you just need to know how to work the YouTube codec.
Part of it's that, and none of them know how to do it with a new camera yet. I've noticed this on the Canon too. You know what I mean? Is with the little R5 footage we've seen also has had pretty big differences to an extent.
Yeah,
but like. It's once I feel like with YouTube, once you hit 100 megabytes per second, there you go. Like there's no difference through a lot of them. Like
I don't know.
Versus how much there should be.
I wonder if there's like a. I'm gonna have to look into that because some people like Potato Jet's footage always looks really good at 1080. You know, like, and he's not using different cameras than some other reviewers. I think he just knows how to compress the video in a codec that YouTube likes better, and whatever the VP9 or AC1 codec likes better.
Yeah,
I guess I need to look more into that because it looks like if you just export an MP4 and then upload to YouTube, it just fucks your video and it looks like shit. Because that's a clear example.
Using Handbrake or some bullshit, you know.
Yeah, and I've been deep into Handbrake recently just because of I've been doing so much of this like gaming footage from Last of Us and Ghost of Tsushima, and it's all Handbrake work, and it's a whole world that like if you don't know about, I guess you could really kind of squeak some better footage out of there.
Like no, go check out Philip Bloom on.
Yeah, I'm gonna after the show. I'm gonna look at that.
Okay, like it's. So good.
It
is. Well, okay, especially the second video, because he released one that is just the internal, and I agree with you. It looks really good. It doesn't look groundbreaking, and I wouldn't expect that.
Like I want to know how good that looks internal.
That onto the fucking Ninja.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I need someone to do the R5 on the Ninja versus the Sony on the Ninja. That's what I need to see. Or the R6 and the same with the R6, because the R6 from Tony's review had better quality than anything. It had the best 4K quality out of all the cameras, which is surprising, but we need more testing. That's all we need. We need more testing. And we're going to get it, and we're going to bring it to you here on the No Life Digital Show, baby. Cameras are fun. Oh, God. If you don't have a camera, what are you doing? Go buy a camera. Please. Now's the best time.
This is a really fun industry, and
it really
I don't want it to die like vaping. Please.
It's really amazing, and it's on the verge of death thanks to cell phones. So go buy a camera. No, I think Sony really kind of took the helm. It's crazy because just before Sony was in the position Canon was in, where Sony had reliability issues.
And then Canon came out with all tits out, like big dick swinging.
And then with reliability issues. Yeah, and then had reliability issues. And now Sony's like, we'll just do 4K. We're fine with 4K. It's insane that this swapped so suddenly, I guess. It's just kind of just like,
dramatically.
One generation. At least
from what we've been able to see.
Yeah, one generation. It was just all of a sudden, Sony's now the reliable professional's tool for videographers. That's just it. There's no other camera.
Part of me, like... What do you think this will do to Peter McKinnon?
Oh, yeah.
Because he literally just got that ambassadorship for the R5.
I am so curious.
Everyone switches to the S3, and it's just him with an R5 and Maddie.
Yeah.
I hope... Sorry, they're not leaving Canon.
No, I hope Peter McKinnon, it goes to Canon. I think he can go to Canon and be like, look,
fix the R6.
You need to fix these cameras, or I'm just gonna start using Sony because they're not good. I really think he can do that. I think he has that power.
He can. I don't.
He's like
know
their guy
because it's not that the R5 is a bad camera.
It's not.
It's not. It's a great camera. I wish I want to buy one.
But he was complaining about reliability issues.
He was, yeah.
And his thing is like, I'll just get 2 of them. That's the problem. It's like, well, you could just get 2 of them, and then you don't have those issues. And I guess I could get 2 as well, but that's not gonna happen.
Same, but at the same time, if I bought 2 of them, why wouldn't I just buy 3 A7s3s?
I know.
Or
like Gerald.
one in an
Gerald bought
FX9.
3 of them. He pre-ordered 3. That's awesome. Gerald, we need your R5 video. What are you doing, man? Get to work.
Well, I think he's been to work at it. I think that's a Canon thing.
Oh, you think they won't let him release the footage yet?
Yeah, because we haven't seen an actual R5 review. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but we've seen them from like international people. That's what I don't get.
Yeah, but
I don't
everyone
understand.
who in normal Western YouTube land, they're still under embargo, I think.
Yeah, maybe they have to wait till the 30th. Damn. Fuck you.
Hey, no, that would be cool. I really do hope like my YouTube box tomorrow blows up with R5, R6 footage. But I mean, shit, dude. Sony just released a $3,500 camera that has everything I actually want in a full-size HDMI port, and then when you slap on a Ninja, it's got 16-bit RAW. No, it's 12-bit. But dude, that's the reason why I wanted a Fuji GFX 100 for 10 grand, is because, hey, dude, there's a really sick way to get 4K 12-bit RAW. And yeah, no, here you can get it with a Sony for fucking $3,000.
I love how Jerry is a Sony guy now. This is awesome. I never thought I'd see the day. I never thought I'd see someone make a fucking compilation of Jerry shitting on Sony for the last 5 years. And then we will play it the day he buys the Sony A7R3.
Yeah,
or S3.
S3. I'm never buying an R. Fuck that.
You say that now, motherfucker.
No.
You say that now.
I don't like the idea of the R, and that's part of why I'm on Team R6 versus
I know
R5.
you are one.
You're the opposite of me. I am fine with 12 megapixels or 20 megapixels. I don't need 80.
Yeah. Well, you say that now.
Unless it's a 12K camera from Blackmagic, and then maybe we can talk.
I've been in those shoes. Oh, this is so awesome.
I just know, because I'm mostly a video person, and like images, like I don't care. Like, honestly, for me, like, if you take an iPhone picture, I'm fine with it, to be honest, for the most part.
Fair enough. Well, actually, in that case, I am more excited about, like, iPhone videography or cell phone videography more than anything, because I do think that's where, I mean, that's still the camera that I use the most, if I'm going to be honest, is my phone. But this is the stuff that needs to happen yearly in the camera world for this industry to remain very vibrant. This is so fucking fun, man. Like, I want to see what Fuji and Pana, and that's basically it, I guess.
Maybe if I wait till Christmas, there'll be an XH2 that fixes all of Fuji's problems, and then I'm happy.
Yeah.
I probably won't be, because they need to release about 5
Are you going to wait
lenses.
till Christmas, you think?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm not buying this now.
Yeah.
Like, as much as I was dogging on the three blind mice guy. Whatever,
yeah, the 3 blind mouse and an elephant.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whatever his name is.
His point is kind of honest, where it's just like, for me right now, no, this camera is completely fine.
Yeah, and like, where are you really going for the next fucking 6 months?
And it's like, well, yes, I could totally drop about 20 grand on camera shit right now for fun. It's still a pandemic. I don't need it. I'm gonna wait till Christmas.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm just like, yeah, I'd rather buy some lights and a Ninja. And
yeah, dude, there's this guy.
At Christmas, when I actually have reviews, I'll spend my money.
There's this guy.
Because I also want to wait till. What I really want to wait is till camera shops around here, because luckily I'm close to Atlanta, so of course every camera shop around here is gonna fucking get all of them. I'm just gonna wait till Christmas, rent both of them or all 3 of them for a week, and decide what I actually like.
Yeah,
that's probably what I'm gonna do.
There's this guy. I forget his name.
Especially if if I decide that I want to go R5, R6, I gotta wait till Apple Silicon anyway. So.
No, you have an iPad.
Yeah, but I don't want to keep editing on my iPad. It sucks. It's fine, but I don't like. it's not as fun. It's not the same workflow. I want to be able to just pop out a laptop or a desktop and just be like, cool, here's a fucking 27-inch 4K monitor that I can actually read things on and see detail. Let's go.
No, I hear you. It's insane. It's so funny how the iPads are the only thing that can edit this insane footage.
Like I said, it works great. My iPad with I think an A10 from 4 years ago crushes H.265 footage.
It's insane, dude. I don't know this fucking guy's name. But every time there's this guy, he does like camera light reviews, and every time a new camera comes out, he's like, hey, guess what? Your footage is going to look like shit no matter what camera you buy unless you get good lighting.
Yeah.
And it's so true. It's absolutely true.
Well, no, Nigel,
I mean, look how good
do you know Nigel Barros?
No.
Have you ever watched him?
No.
Check out Nigel Barros, dude. This dude is he is just kind of a G, honestly, for just making.
See, now I look like I'm in a Japanese vlog, like I'm in a Japanese mukbang vlog.
You're way overexposed now.
I'm in a Japanese mukbang vlog. Konnichiwa.
Hi, welcome to me. I'm always overexposed because right now I'm running all manual and I don't want to get up and go over because, hey, I can't trust my autofocus always. I mean, I can, but
I actually like the Japanese mukbang vlog look. I actually think it kind of fits me well. Konnichiwa.
Yeah. No, check out this.
What's his name? Nigel Farage?
Barrows. Here, I'm linking you. This dude is a G of just like, yeah, I still film on two GH3s because fuck you. And he makes, hey, dude, like his whole shtick of his channel is budget videography, and he does good.
Yeah, that's cool.
Like,
that's at least color grade.
I wouldn't say a lot of it's amazing or insane, but like for just YouTube stuff, yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah, it kind of looks like that. What's that one movie with Bill Murray?
All of Philip Bloom's work.
Yeah, that does look like Philip Bloom a little bit. Yeah. Yellow.
No, he uses the same film nitrate that Philip Bloom uses. He's in that camp of film nitrate's awesome, and it is. But yeah,
it's okay. Yeah, that is the Philip Bloom style too, with the yellow text. Very
but I mean, like, just I'll try to.
Let's see if there's any new A7s3 videos released while we've been talking. No, it doesn't look like it. No, we're still good. Nothing to rush about.
Oh, and also he has a review for the light that I've had in my cart for forever of the Falconize RX 8T or whatever, which I did buy a long time ago, but they've gone up in price now. They used to be $50 and now they're like 80 or 90 thanks COVID. That's the other thing is if you are looking into lighting right now, it sucks. Everything has mostly almost doubled in price because of shortages.
Everything's short. I mean, if you're planning on pre-ordering anything, you'd want to do anything quick, and if you want to buy anything, make sure you really think about it.
Yeah, because like that light is.
My wife is trying to make YouTube her thing. Has a baking channel, and it's in its infancy. She still uses her iPhone for video, but a separate lighting circle too. I mean, that's what works for most people. I mean, it's so easy. Plus, it's on your phone. You can just AirDrop it to whatever you want editing on, or edit from your phone. It's never been easier to make videos, man. It's so fucking awesome. It's and like when I started doing YouTube, which it was only 5 or 6 years ago, it was so different. It was so different 5 or 6 years ago. It was expensive. It was strenuous. You needed an expensive PC. You needed like an actual camera. It wasn't like how easy it is today, man. If you really wanted to do like good quality video, now you just can do it. And like, there's so many good cameras. There's so many easy ways to edit. You can edit on iPads and they're better than desktops. It's fucking nutty. It's just so awesome. It's such a good time, man.
Yeah. No, here, I linked you the video that I first found him off of, which was kind of that style that you were just talking about of like, oh yeah, here's him overblown looking like shit. And then he just puts in about 10 minutes of work and it's suddenly a completely different image.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, that looks great.
That's still a Panasonic GH3.
Yeah, that looks great. Like, it does look like a GH3, but it looks great.
Yeah. And like that's my point of like, do I need to upgrade? Hell no. But
no, well,
like
that's the thing. No one really needs to upgrade. And at the end of the day, at the end of the day, no one even cares. You know what I mean? Like the only people that care about image quality are like us. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like bodybuilders. No one cares about people who have huge muscles other than other bodybuilders. That's
and my failure, the thing everyone does care about, which is currently my failure, and I'm still pissed about it, and I'm still need to upgrade, is everyone cares about audio.
Yes, everyone does care about audio.
If you're trying to do
that is very
videos,
true.
Honestly, if you should buy anything, buy a good microphone.
Yeah, and sir, absolutely. Before she buys any cameras, even lighting, good audio, like a good microphone.
It's the world of difference, and I'm not. My current microphone sucks. Don't use me as an example, but like for $150, that $150 microphone will make your videos 1,000 times better than spending the same price on a camera.
100%. No, that's a good point. Yeah, audio is so big. And like even getting into the world of audio, it's like you can go down such a rabbit hole. I have so much money invested in audio equipment. It's disgusting. Just so sad. I love it. It's so fun. It's so fucking fun. For what? Capturing videos and images and sounds? Love it. Can't get enough. All right, let's go. We got to wrap this up. We've been going 3 hours. 3 hour stream, baby. Let's give a round of applause to Sony's A7S3. You did a good job, Sony. We're very proud of you.
Canon and Panasonic.
Canon, we're a little bit disappointed. The R6.
Bye-bye.
We are, but at the same time, let's be real. You still made an AK camera that I kind of still want.
Yeah, no,
as much
they did
chipsetting you're talking about, I'm probably going to buy the A7S3. If money was no issue, I would buy 2 of both.
And you know, I'm happy that you say that, because this is the thing with a lot of Sony things. It's like they drop this camera, it has amazing specs, everyone rushes out to buy it, and then everyone goes, wait a second, that Canon was pretty interesting, and they do have a solid ecosystem, and they are great colors, and it's very easy to use in terms of just sending like there's so much good about the Canon system that we kind of just get lost in like the minutia of whatever Sony does. And it's really difficult now with the Sony A7S 3 being released, but I think Canon did do a pretty good job. And I still have my R5 pre-ordered. I didn't cancel it after watching the A7S 3. Not just yet, right? It was just when I saw it, I was like, I'm very impressed with Sony, very happy. I'll probably end up with a Sony A7S 3 at some point, but I still do think, I still think Canon did release a badass camera, hybrid camera.
Like for me right now, just because for my specific needs, the A7S3 is more what I wanted.
Yeah.
And think I need.
Yeah.
But the R5 and the R6, that's what pisses me off. It should just be the R6. I should just be able to say, hey, cool, the R6 is perfect. It's exactly what I need. Because realistically, the the new Sony isn't even what I need or actually even completely wanted. I wanted the R6.
You wanted the R6. Everyone did.
But the
2,600 bucks, 4K 60, flip screen, IBIS, like the best IBIS, the best autofocus. It has everything. Except you can pretty much only use it for a half an hour, and it's unreliable. It's a huge Achilles heel for that camera. Bye-bye. All right, that's enough, guys. Let's wrap it up. We'll come back to you guys next week. Make sure you subscribe over on YouTube if you like this stuff. I've been posting more impromptu videos over there. Maybe Jerry will post more videos over there.
That's the plan, yeah. Because I mean, what else am I doing? I've just literally been filming constantly, so
do some rants. I've been posting up some rants. I'll be posting up some game footage soon, and of course follow us over at Twitch for all the live content.
Rant tonight, because guess what? Hockey's on right now. I forgot. Fuck you, Sony. I'm supposed to be watching hockey.
All right, let's go so you can go watch hockey. We'll catch you guys later. All right, to Nigel Barrows, you just got your free 5-minute promo there. Forgot your video was playing. We'll see you guys next week.
I just wanted to point him out because that is a $300 camera, used camera, and about $100 in lighting and about a $50 mic.
Yeah.
And
this right here is like a $3,000 setup, and look how good it looks. Terrible. Yellow highlight. It does make a difference.
Well, it does, and it's also the flip side of that is, it's all of these are just tools, and it's how you use them, and if you dedicate time to learning how to use them, like it does a world of difference. That's what I need to do right now. Is I'm actually just fuck buying an A7s3. That's what I'm waiting for Christmas. Get some mics. I need to spend about 500, 600 on lights and audio. First.
Yeah, I hear you. All right, guys. We'll catch you guys later. Peace. Oh, tomorrow, midweek critique, 5 p.m. Eastern. Thursday, secret stream. Friday, live mixing. Monday, I'll see you for Noted. And then Tuesday, we're back here again.